Nobody does it, Bennett. Yes, I've gone and said it. Movies and games, some things that are lame. Nobody does it, Bennett. Worst of the worst, right on. Is this the worst thing that I've ever seen? Worst of the worst, oh yeah. I feel so dirty that I'll never be clean. Worst of the worst.
Hello, and welcome to Nobody Does It Bennett. Worst of the worst. I am your host, the Greg Bennett Experience, and tonight, once more, and for the final time, I'm joined by Team Spidey, Keelin and Tenson, as we go through the final movie in the Sam Raimi Spider Man trilogy, Spider Man 3 from 2007. Tenson, Keelin, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say we saved the best for last, but maybe for us it could be, but not for content, eh?
No.
Let's just go into it. This isn't better than Spider Man 2.
It's a fun movie, though.
It's something that we're going to explore in depth through the show. A lot of talking points about this movie, but there's so many memes.
Oh,
Yes.
So many lines. I was like, I have to do this as a MRU version of Worst of the Worst. Like, pretty much my last 4 or 5 Worst of the Worst have been this way, because I was like, I just want to do the script. And here we are again. This is the ultimate, I want to do the script. This and maybe the Star Wars, the prequels.
Oh, yeah. So many great lines in those as well.
Episode 2, watch out.
Tonight we will run through the movie Spider Man 3 from 2007. MRU style, of course, because we want the quotes. Too many memorable quotes for good and bad reasons. We will first start with our experiences with Spider-Man 3, as well as look at the Rotten Tomato and box office scores for the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. We will then run through the film, acting out certain scenes with our own unique voices, before finishing with our ratings for Spider-Man 3. My own count, of course, since there are 3 hosts this week. I'm just going to be observing. I'm just the observer in the corner watching.
You're the watcher.
Yes.
I'm going to give you my opinions, don't you worry. You'll notice in the script as well tonight, there's a few altered lines again.
Yeah, I've already seen. I've been scrolling. I've already seen.
Well, this whole trilogy thing, it started me off, because when I first started MRUs and movie review universes, I was dead going with the script. I think it was actually the first Spider-Man one we did, where I started just altering it a little bit.
Just a little. Just a little.
And now I was like, in Deep Blue Sea with Keelin, I added an extra line for LL Cool J.
Yeah.
For no reason, just because I wanted one.
And then Spider-Man 2 is just filled with them.
Oh, definitely.
It's great, though. It's a wee twist on it.
It makes it a little bit fun and makes you go, what are they going to change this time? Keelin, what was your first experience with Spider-Man 3? And did you see it before any of the other 2 films?
Oh, God, you're pulling back my memory so far.
Let us explore back to when you were a small child.
Oh, God, now I'm flashbacks. I watched them all in order. I can say that for sure. Probably around the same age that I watched the first and second one. Probably around 6 or 7, I guess. 8.
67. Wow, you look good for your age.
Thanks, man. It's the beard. It's the Irish genes inside of me. Yeah, but watched it quite young. Impressions on the movie. I don't know. I was a young kid. So I just was looking at all the flashing lights like, whoa, wow, this is so cool. And then I watched it when I was a teen and realized what an absolute, I can't say that word, sorry. Crap fest.
Train wreck.
Train wreck. There we go.
That works.
Sorry, I felt like I would have been copping Spider-Man 2 if I used that line. It was probably one of the most memorable for me, but not for all the right reasons. I liked the movie. Definitely probably the worst out of the trilogy. But it was cool to see Venom and Sandman on the big screen. I was all for that. We cameo from Gwen, Captain Stacy, Bruce Campbell from out of nowhere. Not a bad movie, not a good movie. Probably more on the side of bad than good.
But I like how you use the word memorable, because this movie is not one that's just so much now ingrained into social media and just in general pop culture in general.
Absolutely.
General pop culture in general, I just think I said.
Pizza, 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 pizza.
In general pop culture itself, so it's something that's not going to be forgotten. Sometimes not for the best reasons, but credit to that, it's something that people don't forget.
Definitely not.
Tenson, did you have high expectations going into Spider-Man 3 after seeing Spider-Man 2?
Oh, absolutely. I was expecting something on the same level as Spider-Man 2, but I think I was similar to you, Keelin. I was a young kid watching Spider-Man 3 and really enjoyed it, but, you know, as you get older, you realize just how much of a mess it really is, just trying to do so much, cramming so much into one movie and for it ultimately not to work. But it just shows you how much influence like a producer has on a movie and how it can ruin the overall experience for the viewer, and when the director doesn't have full control over the project. And I think that's what happened here.
Shows you this how well MRU and Kevin Feige does things so well, because he does have obviously got to say stuff, or he's got to actually incorporate certain things into the into the MCU, into the MCU. He does it at a point where he doesn't actually kind of stifle the creative control that the director has, which I think this movie shows you what can happen. Or Warner Brothers in general with DC, they've done that for years now.
I feel like, you know, you've got to give Sam Raimi like complete control over his projects, because, you know, he knows what he wants.
You know, I was a young kid too when I saw this. I was 21 when I saw this movie. I saw Spider-Man 2 in the cinemas, and was a movie I watched multiple times on DVD. I had so many questions going into Spider-Man 3, like, was Harry already Goblin at the wedding? And how will it go down between him and Peter? How will Peter and MJ deal with day-to-day struggles now that she knows he's Spider-Man? How will the symbiote work with the Sandman? And more. And, well, we'll find out at the end of the show. Up next, though, we'll go through the rotten and box office scores on Worst of the Worst. Beyond belief. Fact or fiction. So we're going to go through the box office scores now, guys, if you want to, and also Rotten Tomato scores. I might actually get you guys to guess to see what you think the critics and the audience scores were for the movies. So here we go first. I'll let you think about that as I go through here. Spider-Man from 2002. The box office was $825 million. This is not adjusted for inflation or anything. This is how much it made in 2002. $825 million for box office, off an estimated budget of $139 million.
Oh, wow.
Made a lot of money.
When people say that the Marvel and superhero films started with, like, pretty much the Renaissance, because Batman and Superman had already started this. But this is Marvel's first showing up party, because X-Men did alright and Blade did alright too, but nothing was a huge hit like Spider-Man. So with that successful kind of box office and estimated budget, what do you think the critics' response was on Rotten Tomato?
I reckon they liked it. I would say probably like 85 to 90%.
What do you think, Keelin?
I'm going to say 88% on the dot.
Well, you guys are damn close.
Oh,
Spider-Man from 2002 has a Rotten Tomatoes score, critically, of 90%.
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought it would.
we were close.
I should have. Of course, it would have been over 90, actually.
What about the audience, though? What do you think the audience gave it?
Oh.
I would say about the same, roughly.
Yeah, roughly.
85-ish.
It could be higher. It could be
Yeah.
higher. Because I don't know who are more critical, the critics or the audience?
I would say the critics. Oh, maybe. Hang on. I change. I go.
That's what I was thinking.
You've influenced me now. I'd say, above 90.
Of 90?
Yeah, I'm going to say 92.
92. The audience gave Spider-Man from 2002 a critical response of 67%.
That was the thing.
Wow.
Because I feel like the audience are going to be more critical, but they have no clue what they're on about.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people were upset for the likes of no web shooters and some of that.
yeah.
A lot of the diehard fans would have been like, this isn't the Spider-Man that I like. So maybe they poo-pooed it more than others. But 67 is very low for a movie
That's very
That's the
surprising.
thing, though. See, when it comes to stuff like that, it's just preferences and opinions at that point. The critics are actually looking at the movie as a whole. Cinematography, effects, blah, 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 so on and so on.
A critic will say, I really, really love this, 4 stars out of 5. An audience member might go, this was a really fantastic film, 2 stars out of 5.
Yeah. What?
That's not how it works. Spider-Man 2 from 2004 had a box office of $789 million, so it's not adjusted for inflation. So it's less than Spider-Man from 2002. Of a budget of $200 million. So Spider-Man had a budget of $139 million, where Spider-Man 2 had $200, so they had more in the budget this time, and they made slightly less money. For the Rotten Tomatoes scores, for critics, Tenson, what do you think they gave Spider-Man 2?
I would say this one would be higher. So I'd say 95-ish.
5? Keelin.
97.
97. The critical response from, or at least on Rotten Tomatoes, for Spider-Man 2 from 2004 was 92%. 3%.
He's higher still.
I was the closest.
All right, mate, chill out.
Now, we come to the audience. What do you think the audience gave Spider-Man 2?
Surely it's higher than the first one. Like,
Has to be. It's Spider-Man 2.
I would go 80. No, I would say in the 90s. I'd go 93.
93?
I'm going to say 88 again.
88. The audience gave Spider-Man 2 from 2004 a critical response of 82%.
Oh,
82%.
I was closer. Ha 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 ha.
You were.
A movie that is sometimes seen as the greatest superhero film made ever, potentially. Like, it's in the top 5, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a score of 82% by audience.
It's crazy to think about.
If it's that though low for like the first two, I'd hate to know what it is for Spider-Man 3.
For Spider-Man 3 in 2007, it had a budget of $258 million. That's $58 million more than Spider-Man 2.
I'm not surprised.
Want to kind of guess if it was high or low for its box office?
I think it was high because
I would say high.
purely just because of the expectations from 2. So no one knew what the movie was going to be like, for sure.
No.
But I think just the reputation of the second one alone would have pushed everyone going to Spider-Man 3.
From memory, the trailer was like amazing.
Yeah.
So that would have drawn a lot of people into wanting to see it. So yeah, I'd say high as well.
Well, good guesses there, because Spider-Man 3, even though it is the most critically, like people to say how crap it is the highest in
Yeah.
the box
Yeah.
office.
I wasn't surprised.
It made $894 million.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's nearly 900.
It's higher than Spider-Man 1.
Wait, 900 million.
So $894 million. So,
Okay, so nearly 900 million. They almost made $1 billion off the worst Spider-Man movie.
and I'm guessing, like you say, the first week or so, they would have made most of that money.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
For the Rotten Tomato scores, Keelin, what do you think critics gave Spider-Man 3 from 2007?
Oh, God. What was the... Oh, wait, no, never mind.
So critics for Spider-Man 2 were 93, critics for Spider-Man were 90.
Oh, God. Critics. Put my mind in a critic. I'll say 66.
Tenson.
I'd probably say about the same, about 64.
Oof, you guys know your stuff. Rotten Tomato score for Spider-Man 3 from critics is, in fact, 63%.
Nice. Oh, you were one away as well.
I expected it to be around there.
Now we come to the audience. What do we think the audience gave Spider-Man 3 from
God, I need
2007?
to bloody put my head in an audience member like 13 years ago.
If they were so, like, they gave the first two so low scores, like, I'm going to go 50%.
Probably going to go 47.
Quite close, but I'm not sure if Keelan's price is right and you're trying to get closer or not. But the audience score for Spider-Man 3 in 2007 was 51%.
Oh,
I was close.
we're very close. I think I said 50, didn't I?
Did you say
Yeah.
50 on the dot?
50, yeah.
Ah, I said 47.
If you like what you hear or have any suggestions or thoughts for us, who knows, it might be about Spider-Man 3. Well, you can contact us by going to the Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com or by going to our website nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast outlets. Nobody Does It Bennett is now also available on YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, guys, are you ready to finally jump into Spider-Man 3 from 2007?
Sure am.
Oh, no, but let's do it anyway.
Last time we had that intro for Spider-Man 2, I've gone and done it again.
Oh, here we go.
Originally, we thought that this man, Sam Raimi, was your Spider-Man franchise killer. We were wrong.
What?
Turns out Mr. Raimi was only an accomplice. The actual killer is still at large.
What are you talking about?
This is the man who killed the franchise. Avi Arad.
Dun, dun, dun.
So not Mr. Dickovich.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spider-Man 3 from 2007.
Nobody does it, Bennett.
Movie starts with the now iconic web opening credits with the familiar Danny Elfman theme. But the music, though, isn't done by Danny Elfman, as he and director Sam Raimi had a falling out when working on Spider-Man 2, which is interesting because Danny Elfman did the music for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So they apparently it was the first thing they worked together on since Spider-Man 2.
Wow. Whoa.
I'm pretty sure Raimi was under a lot of stress and he may have told something to Danny Elfman and he just didn't take it because he's Danny Elfman, of course. So, yeah, they split up for about 15, 16 years.
Yeah, I do remember that.
The music is instead composed by Christopher Young.
What a legend.
I do like the new black suit Spider-Man theme. The jazzy number is a nice contrast to the rest of the themes. It works quite well. The power feels good. The Sandman theme, although not as good, is at least different. It sounds similar to me to Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor theme in Superman, in the very first Superman movie with Richard Donner.
Classic.
Not the light-hearted theme, though. It's the Sandman theme where he's thinking about his daughter and stuff. That's really nice and beautiful, but then there's a real bombastic kind of sad man walking around music as well.
Bom, bom.
I do love how the black symbiote invades and takes over the opening credits. So as you're watching it, you see the ooze and the symbiote just taking over.
Yeah.
And some of the music actually plays along with it
So
as
good.
it floats along.
Iconic sequence.
What did you say it was, Tenson? You said it was.
So good.
Cut to Spider-Man swinging through New York.
It's me, Peter Parker, your friendly neighborhood, you know. I've come a long way from being the boy who was hit by a spider.
It was hit by a spider. Oh my god, you've been hit by a spider.
Someone help my boy.
I've come a long way from being the boy who was bit by a spider, but now...
Shot pulls out to reveal that the Spider-Man swinging scene we have been watching is on a giant screen.
Wow, look, it's Spider-Man.
Super cool!
People really like me.
Peter yells out to the kids who are starting to walk away.
Hey, stick around. It's gonna start again in a couple of minutes.
Nah.
That's okay. The city is safe and sound. Oh, sorry, what am I saying?
The city is safe and sound.
I'm taking over all the podcast. Sorry, Jensen. Yeah.
The city is safe and sound. I guess I've had something to do with that. My Uncle Ben would be proud, you know, if he hadn't been shot and died in my arms.
That's cool.
You'll be stunned to know that's an altered line, guys. It wasn't actually in the movie.
No.
You're kidding me.
The city really seems to love Spider-Man now. You can see this through all the positive newspaper and magazine articles written about good old Spidey. Didn't see a Daily Bugle paper there, though, funny enough.
Really?
Shocked. Cut to Peter riding his scooter thing.
I still get to school, top of my class.
It cuts to Peter sitting in Dr. Connor's class. Peter seems to get hassled by other people in the class. Peter seems to be the nerd of the nerds. Peter and Gwen Stacy put their hands up to answer a question when Connors calls on Gwen, and she gets it right. She turns back to look at Peter, like he had something to do with it. We later find out that Peter has been tutoring Gwen. Gonna be honest, I like how they do Gwen Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man more than what they do here.
Oh, for
Absolutely.
sure. She actually did something.
Yeah, she's barely in it.
Seems like she isn't Peter's intellectual rival in this, more his classmate solely used to potentially threaten MJ and Peter's relationship. Gwen's character deserves better than just being an attractive two-dimensional side story.
I agree with you.
In Amazing Spider-Man, I think Emma Stone, really, really good
So
in
much
that.
better, yeah.
Or the bloody printer had more screen time. I swear.
That printer, though, was a pretty good one. Cuts to Peter looking at engagement rings in store windows. Layaway available. Maybe Afterpay, Zip, and Hum, too.
I came here to get away from work.
Cut to Peter going to opening night of MJ's new Broadway musical, Manhattan Memories, directed by Wing Hey Lam, and starring Linda Curtis, Solomon Abrams, and Mary Jane Watson. Yes, I had this on pause for a while.
Those are some of the best Easter eggs, you know. There's a lot of in movies with like Broadway or like old cinema, like tech screens. There's a lot of Easter eggs hidden in movies on those.
I love the shot of Peter sitting down, then two big guys sit either side of him, squishing poor old Pete.
Oh, that's so
They
good.
don't even look at him, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And they sit down. When MJ is singing down the steps in the long dress, I was like, don't fall down the stairs. Don't fall down the stairs.
Yeah, it looks like she might trip or something.
Because Peter might have gone, break a leg, and when I go, oh no.
Oh, trust him to do that as well.
He would do that. As Peter watches MJ perform, the camera pans up to a private box where Harry is looking ultra creepy, spying on Peter. He's got those little viewing glasses.
Yeah.
And he just looks like a real, like, creepy look in his face.
That little score during that bit was awesome. The fade away from MJ's song into like Harry's new sort of evilish-esque theme. Awesome. Big up Young.
Cuts of Peter leaving in the crowds. You can hear some people say how they thought MJ was good. Peter runs over to Harry, who he sees walking towards his car.
Harry, I need to talk to you. Explain things.
Tell it to my father. Raise him from the dead.
Ooh, it's very morbid of you, Harry. Or should I say, Morbius of you.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no. Get that off this podcast.
Get it out of here. Get
You know, I do sometimes wish I had the master script so I can actually see this stuff coming sometimes. Because it just makes me crease at some moments.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
Oh.
Tell that to Eddie.
Harry gets into the back of his car.
I'm your friend, Harry. I cared about your father.
Harry's car drives off. Peter goes backstage to talk to MJ.
MJ,
Peter!
congrats.
Was I good?
Good. You were great.
Personally, I thought her voice didn't carry much past the first row.
Always a critic.
You were.
You said great. I love my flowers. They're beautiful.
Nice little bouquet of flowers are on MJ's dressing room table.
And those are from Harry.
Camera pans up to a giant bouquet of flowers that easily dwarf Peter's.
Was he here tonight?
Yeah, I ran into him outside.
What's with you guys anyway?
Well, I didn't kill his father. He killed himself. As he was the Green Goblin. I haven't told Harry this, otherwise this part of the story would have been dealt with back in Spider-Man 1.
So true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every movie ever, though, for real. Oh, plotline that will span 7 movies, like Harry Potter.
What Peter actually says.
It's complicated.
Tell me again. Was I really good? I was so nervous. My knees were shaking.
Your knees were fine.
The applause wasn't very loud.
Yes, it was. Well, it's the acoustics. It's all about diffusion. It keeps the sound waves from grouping.
Peter continues to mumble out science, blah blah blah.
You are such a nerd!
Nerd alert! The constant reassurance of praise MJ needs in this scene for me helps see why MJ is upset with Peter later on. MJ gets jealous of Peter's success while her career starts to nosedive. Well, this is part of the reason anyway. The other reason is that Peter makes some dumb decisions too. Cut to Osborn Mansion. Harry still is not showing the losses he claimed that Otto cost him in Spider-Man 2. I'm still going to talk about that. He's like, I'm ruined. It's like, are you? You still look like you've got just as much money.
Still living in one of the tallest buildings in New York, Manhattan.
Yeah. He claims he was ruined, but nope, still seems to be Bruce Wayne rich. You see some different designs for goblin masks, including the lame redesign they end up going with. You also see a glider, and then, again, the lame redesigned board they end up going with. Harry steps in the chamber full of green smoke. He doesn't seem to have the same crazy issues that Norman had, though. He just comes out like, I'm normal.
Yeah,
It's like more controlled, you know? Like when a boxer who's relied on heart trains and gets technique.
You wouldn't think he went in.
No, if they didn't show it,
Like
yeah.
the way he comes out, yeah.
Or maybe it's pre-existing issues that Norman already had that Harry hasn't got. That maybe it just amplified it.
That's a good point.
Personally, I never feel that Harry's transition to the new Goblin was ever done right.
No.
Could have had them saying that maybe Norman perfected the serum before he died. That made him so he didn't have any psychological issues or something. As Harry never seems like he ever becomes Goblin at all. Seems to work more like a super soldier serum where he's physically enhanced but not mentally affected. Cut to Peter and MJ lying on a giant spiderweb in a park. Maybe Central Park? Watching meteors in the sky. Imagine if someone saw that. It's like, hey, it's Peter in a web with MJ. Like, well, how did he get up there?
He's Spider-Man!
Spider-Man unmasked.
Again, for like the 4th time in these movies.
You know what? I'd like to sing on stage the rest of my life with you in the first row.
I'll be there.
Tell me you love me.
Again, MJ. So needy.
I love you. I love you so much. I always have.
I felt that, bro. That made me feel a certain kind of way.
Emotion. I'm tingly. It's got a Peter tingle.
I do have a Peter tingle.
The only time that he shows emotion.
Yeah, well, he shows emotion in this in really cartoonish ways.
Yeah, it always seems quite wooden.
Like wide-eyed as well, like a doll.
Which is annoying because Tobey Maguire is a fantastic actor. Like, in the subtle moments of these movies, he really, like, when he's not speaking and he's just like, and in Spider-Man 2 when he's like, am I not supposed to have what I want? That line hits me every time because it's subtle, but it's so brilliant.
He's very stoic as well. Like the way he looks at the camera when he says the lines and delivers it. Ooh, I can just feel it.
Yeah, then you have like the, later on where he becomes like over the top kind of emotional. It's like, it doesn't fit his character. He's better at subtle.
That's what he does.
That's a job for Andrew Garfield, I reckon.
Yeah, I think Garfield would have hit it better.
Yeah.
Peter and MJ kiss while a meteor crash lands nearby. A black ooze-like substance breaks out of the meteor. This isn't good. I've seen the X-Files. In the movie, it has black ooze that goes into your eyes.
Oh no.
Peter and MJ descend from the web in the trees and get on Peter's scooter thing. As they're about to drive off, the black ooze latches on to Peter's scooter thing. I keep saying that because it's Aunt Macy in the last one. I don't like that scooter thing you ride around on.
Scooter thing you drive around.
I don't get why they didn't just web away in that scene. Surely that'd be way more romantic than a scooter thing.
Have you seen No Way Home? The start of that when, well, she's at the end of, was it No Way Home or end of Far From Home when he's taking MJ for a ride? I think it's in Far From Home. And she's like, never do that again.
No, maybe both. Maybe both, because at the start they're like, okay, we got to get back to the apartment, trip through the subway.
I think it's a continuation of the same ride, but I think it's end of Far From Home because that's when he finds out, oh God, and he has to grab her because of the crowds.
Yeah, and we need to go.
Yeah, so that's probably why they didn't do it from that web. That's my explanation anyway. I'm sticking to it. Yeah. They drive away.
Makes sense.
It's like, take that, Keelin. Yeah.
I was just saying, it could have avoided the whole Venom idea, you know, with just taking a web instead of a scooter thing.
This has become a mass debate, all right?
Oh,
Screw worst of the worst. We're on this topic now.
They drive away. End of movie.
I didn't expect that. Roll credits.
Cut to Flint Mako. He's not a Mako. Cut to Flint Marco running through the streets. He is running from the cops who are patrolling with a searchlight nearby. Flint climbs a fire escape using only his upper body. Really impressive. Flint climbs into an apartment window. There is a sick little girl in the bed. She has an oxygen nose tube. Flint pulls out a stack of letters he wrote for her. The deliveries were refused. Her name is Penny Marco. She is Flint's daughter. Flint puts the letters under her pillow, then goes and grabs his iconic green and black striped jersey. Similar style to Freddy Krueger's, just different colours.
yeah.
His ex-wife and mother to Penny catches Flint in the kitchen.
You can't hide here, Flint.
I'm just here to see my daughter.
You're an escaped convict. The cops are looking for you. You're not getting near her. You're nothing but a common thief.
Penny's bedroom door opens up.
You maybe even killed a man.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't. I had a good reason for what I was doing, and that's the truth.
You and the truth? Sitting in prison, having 3 meals a day together? I live in the presence of great truth, and that is the truth that you left behind, right there in that bedroom.
Ain't.
It's like a cartoon character.
Flint then sees Penny in the doorway.
Penny, I missed you.
I miss you too, Daddy.
Jesus. She on speed or something?
I miss you too, Daddy. Penny gives Flint a locket. The sad Flint theme here is beautiful.
I'll promise I'll make you healthy again. Whatever it takes. I'll get the money.
You get out of here now.
Flint climbs out the window and sits on the fire escape for a moment.
I'm not a bad person. Just had bad luck.
Flint runs away. I actually like Flint in these little subtle moments, like the ones where he's not having to be like a big baddie. You kind of see like he is a nice guy.
Because we have a few villains in this movie. So he's kind of like the one with the emotional story you want to kind of connect to and feel a bit bad for. Eddie, you just kind of want to die and leave.
Yeah.
And he's for me, the villain that has the less selfish reasons for what he's doing out of everyone.
It's completely selfless. Yeah, he's doing everything for the daughter. That's what he's doing.
That's why I think why it's hard as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Cuts to Peter riding his scooter thing to Aunt May's apartment. Peter rings Aunt May's doorbell.
Peter? What is it?
It's MJ.
Wow. Way to sound like there's horrible news, Peter. Imagine if she just had a heart attack there and then, fearing that something had happened to MJ. Anyway.
I'm gonna ask her to marry me.
Oh, Peter! Oh! Sorry, I went back to Spider-Man 1 there with that added line.
That's what she says.
That's what she says. There's an exclamation mark. I had to exclaim it.
Exactly.
Cut to Aunt May making Peter a cup of tea.
The day your Uncle Ben asked me to marry him, we were so scared and excited and very young.
I don't believe that. Unlike old 35-year-old Pete here.
And I loved him so fiercely.
And you said yes, right?
No. I wanted to say yes, but I said no. I wasn't ready. Neither was he. So we took our time, looked forward to it. Didn't want to run into something with nothing to count on but love. A man has to be understanding and put his wife before himself. Can you do that, Peter?
Peter.
Peter.
Yeah,
Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
yeah, I think I can.
Then you have my blessing.
Anyway, Peter and Aunt May continue to talk about Peter coming up with a proper proposal. That's a hard word to say. Proper proposal.
Ooh, proper proposal.
Proper proposal. And how Uncle Ben proposed to her. They used to swim out to an island, and one day at the island he told May to close her eyes, and when she opened them, Ben was holding this ring. Aunt May holds out her hand to Peter, showing the ring. They would have been married 50 years had Peter not got Uncle Ben killed. Oh well.
Oh, God.
That's morbid. Or morbid.
You mobbed.
It's very Morbius. Aunt May says for Peter to give MJ her ring. Peter hugs Aunt May, knowing he just saved a fortune from having to buy a ring.
Oh my god, for real.
Imagine that.
Dude can't even pay his rent.
Oh, man.
Well, he will when you fix this damn door.
I love in this line by Aunt May, I was like, I wasn't ready. Neither was he. So we took our time. And then it says, look forward to it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness.
I was like,
Say forward. Just say forward.
but I'm too good. I'm a drama student.
He's correcting on the fly.
Top-notch English student you are.
Me, English good. Cut to Peter back riding his scooter thing. Peter is lifted off his scooter thing into the air by a masked man flying a hoverboard. They start fighting in the air. The masked man even stabs Peter with shredder-like arm gauntlets. The in-the-air action scenes look pretty damn cool. And this sequence is, in fact, my favourite sequence in the entire movie.
I was about to say the same.
This is good. The masked man eventually slams Peter into a brick wall. Peter is left sitting in the hole his broken body has created. The masked man then unmasks.
Harry?
You knew this was coming, Pete.
Harry tries to slam his arm gauntlets into Peter with a nasty, vile look on his face. But Peter manages to get out of the way.
Listen to me. I didn't kill your father. He was trying to kill me. He killed himself.
There we go, he finally got there.
Oh my god.
About time you try to reason with him, Peter.
Shut up!
The wall Peter is on breaks off. The wall flipping down looks really cool. You see Peter and the brick on one side and wallpaper on the other. I'm not sure if you noticed it when it flips. You actually see the inner wallpaper of the brick wall.
Yeah.
Quite cool.
The Peter-Harry fight continues. Highlights include Peter being dragged by Harry and smashed into the side of a building, Peter getting thrown through a building and losing Aunt May's ring. The shot of him trying to whip it back looks awesome. He's like,
That's slow-mo.
yeah. Peter getting control of Harry's board and one leg swinging him away when the board glows red and auto tracks back to Harry.
That's a cool feature. I love that.
Really cool.
Peter about to get Aunt May's ring back and reaches out before being pushed away. Peter does grab it though. Weird how the ring was in the air for that long. Because it's like falling for ages and he goes on and has a fight, comes back and still catches it.
Well, they are moving at faster than human speed. So maybe time is irrelevant here.
Rules, in movies, rules don't apply. And also, Peter being chased through a narrow alleyway by Harry, and Harry throwing some of those goblin razor bombs that have little sharp projectiles that cut Harry like a bike messenger in Spider Man 1.
Hate those things.
And also, Peter doing a 180 and swinging towards Harry, leading to Harry being abused by the little flying blades. And finally, Peter grabbing one of the flying blades with his web, slingshotting it into another flying blade, which causes an explosion that temporarily blinds Harry and causes Harry not to see Peter's web clothesline he just put up. This causes Harry to have a very nasty fall. The sound of Harry hitting a web, then hitting his head on a pipe before slamming into a rubbish dumpster, before rebounding off that onto the ground. Sounds nasty.
Yeah, I think he actually hit his head twice. He hit a pipe and then another one, and then he hit the dumpster.
And then hit the ground.
Bump on the head and was free as a bird.
Oh god. No.
More on that later. All I can say is...
Hi, I'm Harry Osborn. Welcome to Jackass.
Peter swings down when he realizes that Harry is seriously hurt.
Harry?
Harry! Harry is unconscious. Harry!
Oh my god.
Peter says, Harry! Oh my god.
It's like he'll turn to the camera and go, oh my god.
I've exhausted all my Harrys now. Oh my god. Peter starts CPR. Harry!
I can't do the...
You got one more line, buddy.
Go on!
I can't do the Tobey Maguire scream.
Say what you will, I actually really like the acting from Toby from this.
It is, it's real.
The panic in his eyes was really good.
Yeah, I like it too. Cut to Harry being attended to at the hospital. Anyone else here take shop class? I think that's why Keelin was laughing, because he saw the next line.
Yeah. I was, bro, these lines, they confuse me. I feel like I'm 2 weeks in the past. It was very good, sir.
The doctors are using the defib pads on Harry as Peter looks on from another room. Cut to a New York police station. Captain Stacy has been informed about Flint Marco. This is where you first find out that Flint Marco has actually been tied to Uncle Ben's murder. He's on the run, but they believe they have him trapped in the marshlands. Cut to Flint Marco being pursued by cops and police dogs in the marshlands. Not the same marshlands as Lord of the Rings, Tenson.
No.
That's what I put in notes here. Yeah, not those marshlands.
No. Not quite.
So many marshlands came to my head just then, from every single bit of fantasy I've ever watched.
Yes.
Flint comes to a steel chain fence. A dog catches him there, so he smacks it on the nose, but sends the dog running. It's like, rah, 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 bam.
Yeah.
I get it, but still.
He did it in like the best way possible. Didn't hurt the dog. He hit it on the nose. Flint climbs the steel chain fence, cause no harm ever came from climbing a steel chain fence. Am I right? The sign on the fence says, "Danger, Particle Physics Test Facility." Flint runs a few steps more before falling into a deep hole. Flint lands in a giant sandpit. A light turns on from above. Looks like a classic alien abduction scene. When he goes up, looks like alien abduction. It's the light coming down. Instead, it appears to be a machine that has 3 laser-like beacons on it. Capacitors charged.
Got it, Donnie. We got a little fluctuation on one.
There's a change of the silicon mass.
Yeah, it's probably a bird. It'll fly away when we fire up the machine. Oh, ooh. You think that's New York, I know.
I thought it was like Eddie Murphy or something.
You think the cops would let this company know that they're on a manhunt in this area so that they wouldn't be doing experiments at exactly the same time? No? Alright then. Machine starts to spin faster and faster. The machine starts to affect Flint's whole molecular structure, turning his body into a sand-like substance. The police close in on the sandpit, but don't see Flint. But oh, he's there alright.
Dun, dun. I wonder what they were doing there. Like, just trying to spin some sand and make it a different element or something?
I'm not sure. I think they're trying to create some sort of energy or something from it. I guess.
I'd say so.
They're trying to break it down to something anyway.
Yeah.
They never explain what it is, do they?
Who knows? Plot to get Sandman to be Sandman.
Cuts of Peter sitting in the waiting room of the hospital. Peter talks to the doctor. Harry is going to be okay, but there's been some memory impairment, particularly in his short-term memory. He can't remember anything that happened to him recently. How convenient this is for Peter. Doc says it's hard to say if it will be permanent or not. Peter goes to see Harry, not knowing how he will react to seeing him.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Hit my head.
Yeah?
Doctor said I was in an accident. Hit and run. I don't remember much of anything. My father, he died, right?
Peter slightly nods.
This is all so weird.
MJ shows up. Wouldn't it have been funny if Peter and Harry were holding hands this time and MJ walked in awkwardly with flowers?
Oh, that's the love story I want.
Please.
Actual.
Hi! I got here as fast as I could. I know that face. How you doing? I don't know. Last thing I remember, I was fine. Somewhere. You're still fine. We love you, Harry. It feels like somehow I've been gone for a really long time. And now I'm back home.
It's good to have you back.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you guys to scoot, okay? Okay.
From a nurse.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, great.
Get some sleep.
MJ and Peter leave the room.
I think he's going to be fine.
I think so.
And you guys seem great.
Yeah, for now. Until he gets his memory back and devises a plan for you and I to break up, in which he tells me he's the other guy while eating pie.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You have lovely friends.
My best friends. I'd give my life for them.
Foreshadowing.
Oh dear.
Cut back to the science sandpit. Flint is pulling himself back together. In all seriousness, this is a lovely scene. The bit where he's trying to grab the locket with his sand hands is touching.
Touching.
In all seriousness, Tenson. Yeah, oh my God.
You're horrible.
That's a pun. I thought you'd appreciate it.
Pardon, really?
Let's make a joke after Greg says, in all seriousness. The scene ends with Flint Marko back to looking like himself, walking towards the camera. This is the scene that took them like the whole 2 or 3 years to put together after Spider-Man 2. Between Spider-Man 1 and 2, that train scene was the big thing they had to do. And this one was this. Apparently it took about 2 years to
What's
actually...
just that one little scene of Sandman?
That scene of Sandman.
Crazy.
Because they had to make it not look just good, but perfect.
It did look actually really good for the time as well.
Remember, Scorpion King was only about 4 or 5 years before this.
Oh, God. Oh, don't remind
So
me.
they didn't want one of those to happen, you know. Cut to Peter looking at a restaurant card. He has booked a table at Restaurant Constellation for Monday at 7:30 p.m. and on Monday. Peter then looks at the ring Aunt May gave him when there is a knock at the door. It's MJ. Peter hurriedly puts the ring away while MJ wrestles with Peter's broken door.
Hey.
The review.
Oh?
They hated it. They hated me.
Well, they can hate you.
The young Miss Watson is a pretty girl, easy on the eyes but not on the ears. Her small voice didn't carry past the first row.
That's ridiculous.
I was there.
You were there, in the first row.
Yeah, listen, you were great. That's a critic. This is something you're gonna have to get used to. Believe me, I know. Spider-Man gets attacked all the time.
This isn't about you. This is about me. It's about my career.
And that line pretty much sums up why I'm not a big fan of MJ in this film. That's what she says. It's about me, not about us, not about you. It's just about me.
Wrong thing to say.
It was.
I know, and I'm just saying you can't let it bring you down. You just gotta believe in yourself and pull yourself together. You get right back on the horse and...
Don't give me the horse thing. Try and understand how I feel.
MJ is frustrating in this scene.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah.
Peter just awkwardly smiles.
It's just... I look at these words, and it's like my father wrote them.
Peter, you gotta go sort out that father of
Yeah,
his.
for real. 3 movies, and we've only seen him in 1.
Gotta go over there and sort him out. The police scanner goes off. Spider-Man is needed.
Go get him, Tiger?
MJ nods, but in her heart she knows that a crane that is out of control is nowhere near as bad as her selfish little performance problems. Peter puts on his Spider-Man mask and leaps outside. MJ heads for the door. When she does, though, you see the black ooze is in Peter's room. Cut to cops looking up at an out-of-control crane. That was hard to say. That crane is sparking and moving around like a mechanical bull at a bar. Gwen Stacy is in the middle of a modeling shoot in a building nearby. The steel bar hanging from the crane smashes into the building Gwen and the crew are in. They need to duck to avoid getting their heads knocked off by the bar. Bits of the building start landing towards the people on the ground. No Stan Lee helping the crowd members this time. Last 2 movies, he's helping people from falling debris or stuff like that.
We don't even need it. They all seem to magically just miss the people on the street anyway, so...
How?
Movie magic. Captain Stacy shows up.
Captain Stacy, they got some kind of short up there. They can't shut down the crane.
Get Edison on the phone. Have him kill power to the whole block. Get it? Get Edison on the phone? Because he's power? I like that one.
Also, Captain Stacy is played by James Cromwell.
That'll do, Tenson. That'll do.
The bad cop in LA Confidential.
Or his greatest role as the inventor in iRobot.
Oh!
Very true.
Well.
That's one of my favorite Will Smith films.
I like how it says get Edison on the phone and like Eddie shows up.
Oh, gosh.
True, maybe you heard.
Dun dun.
Gwen looks at the devastation from up high. The crane comes swinging in, taking out a lower level, which drops the floor and creates an angled slide out the window. Gwen slides off towards the ledge, hanging onto a corded phone. If this was 2022, she would probably be dead. It's wireless! Ah!
Oh, no.
Uni's in. We didn't think about this. The phone cable snaps, leaving Gwen hanging onto the edge of the building. Eric Foreman from That 70s Show shows up with a camera. He uses the zoom function on his camera to see the action. Oh my god! That's Gwen! What? Captain Stacy grabs Eddie's camera and has a look for himself to confirm, yep, that's Gwen. Not looking good for her either, knowing the history of her character. What's she doing up there? I don't know. I just saw her last night. She said she had a modeling gig. Who are you? It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock Jr. And I work at the Daily Bugle. And I'm dating your daughter. Gwen gets knocked further off the ledge by a sliding table. Gwen is now hanging completely from the building. Spider-Man swings in towards the scene. Gwen starts to fall when the crane creates more destruction around her. The shot of Spider-Man maneuvering around objects, while the sound of a heartbeat can be heard, is pretty cool. If you notice that when you go and chase after her, the music changed to a heartbeat?
No.
Very faint.
It's faint, and I think it's also to show people from the comics, like, this could be the moment where Gwen Stacy gets killed, because this is very similar to how she dies. Spidey saves Gwen. No, that's not right. Let's do that again, only this time Gwen dies. Spider-Man lands to the ground with Gwen.
Dead body in hand. Here you go, Captain Stacy.
Sorry about your daughter.
I thought you were supposed to be dead first, not her. It's confusion. Continuum space-time stuff.
Spider-Man lands to the ground with Gwen.
You okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, he's Gwen, yeah, you know.
I thought I'd messed up.
You're MJ, right? He's got another woman on the side now.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Hey, Spidey, hold on. Bugle needs a photo. Eddie turns to Gwen. Thank God you're okay. Gwen runs off looking unimpressed at Eddie. Hey, I'm the new guy. Pretty sure you were mentioned in the first movie, Eddie, but oh well.
New guy?
Gwen runs to her dad, Captain Stacy. From now on, I'm going to be taking the shots of you for the Bugle. So, smile. Are you smiling? Just kidding.
They got a guy.
Who, Parker? Yeah. Look, just between you and me, guy's kind of an amateur. Have you noticed this stuff makes you look a little bloated? Just, yeah. A little chunky?
Okay.
Spider-Man swings away. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, buddy. Cut to the Daily Bugle.
Dazzle me.
Hoffman is trying to come up with a new advertising campaign for the Bugle. Hoffman slaps following slogans onto the board. Daily Bugle. It's hip. It's now. It's wow. And how. Just a little something the boys in the ad department and I whipped up. As you know, circulation at the Bugle has been pretty good, though not as good as the New York Times or the Daily News or the Post or several other smaller.
Get on with it, you moron.
The intercom buzzes, which shakes Jameson's whole desk.
What?
Your blood pressure. Your wife told me to tell you to watch your anger.
You tell my wife. Thank you.
It's like, you tell my wife. Thank you. So I propose this campaign. Daily Bugle. That's obvious. It's hip. It's now. I came up with that one. It's wow. That's actually Erickson. He goes crazy. We gave him a couple of lattes. He's like, woo. And how? That's me again. The buzzer shakes again. This starts a funny gag where Betty Shake buzzes the table when he reaches for the wrong ones. When he finally grabs the right bottle and opens it, Betty buzzes again, causing the pills to go everywhere. And why did she buzz the last time? Drink plenty of water. Jameson presses the intercom button and very delicately says,
Thank you.
I just don't think Delicate and Jameson can fit in the same sentence.
Don't mix.
That's why J.K. Simmons is so good. Because he can play both really well. I like who he is. He's very much as Bark's worse than Spite.
Yeah, for sure.
Eddie walks into the office and chats with Betty. Betty is not impressed by Eddie. What's that smell? That's a little something called Nice and Easy. What's on you? It's called Go Away.
Oh!
Hoffman and Jameson come out of the office.
Get out. That is the dumbest idea you've ever had. And you have had some doozies.
Blood pressure. Eddie slides into Jameson's office.
Who are you?
You hired him last week. Freelance.
So then, who was Eddie in the first film? First it was two different Dr. Connors, and now two Eddies. I'll show myself out. Tenson, Keelin, you got it from here.
Cool.
I did? What's that smell?
It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock Jr.
Who? What?
Can I just say, I really like to share it. Here, it's the crane incident. Eddie hands Jameson a photo. Check out the light source.
He likes my shirt?
Peter enters the offices.
Hey, Betty.
Hey, Pete. You better get in there. New guy. He's trying to sell some Spidey photos.
Oh, thanks.
Peter walks into Jameson's office.
Parker, you're late. Maybe too late. Bruckner here beat you to it.
It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock Jr.
But I got you this.
Peter hands over his Spider-Man photo. Wait, how did you get that? I didn't see you there. How did you get that high?
Climbed. Nearly fell off a flagpole.
A flagpole?
Which one do we use?
I like Bernstein's.
It's better.
Cheaper too. Congratulations, son. We'll use your shot. I'll pay you $50.
All right, JJ, I'm your man. Wow, $50 rather than 300? Nice. I know more about what makes a good picture than any photographer in this town. See, photography, it's not just about, no offense, flagpoles or whatever. It's about lighting, composition, drama. I want a staff job, sir. I have a girl that I intend to marry. And I guess I don't know. I have this stupid little dream of working with one of the greatest newspaper editors of our time. J. Jonah Jameson?
Well, we do have an opening. Johnson quit, remember?
You fired him.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever. Get him in here.
Wait a minute. I know what makes a good picture. And I've been here for a long time. If there's a staff job, Mr. Jameson, I think I deserve it.
He's right, Jonah. Peter's been with us for years. He's done a great job.
You want a staff job, and you want a staff job. Anybody care what I want?
I do.
Shut up. Get out. I want the public to see Spider-Man for the two-bit criminal he really is. He's a fake. He's full of stinkum. Catch him in the act. Spider-Man with his hand in the cookie jar. Whoever brings me that photo gets a job. What are you waiting for, Chinese New Year? Go, go, go.
I'm on it, boss. Eddie and Peter leave Jameson's office.
You'll never get that shot.
Oh, we'll see. Cuts of Peter out in the streets of New York. He notices a news story on a digital board. Spider-Man to receive key to the city. Saves daughter of police captain. You know, I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
Classic. Iconic. Best scene of the whole movie, I reckon.
Actually, the best scene that Stanley's ever been involved with is in Simpsons when he pretends he's the Incredible Hulk and climbs a flagpole. I'm really the Incredible Hulk. God bless you, Stan. Cuts to Osborne Mansion. Welcome home, Harry. Thank God you're all right.
Thanks. Bill Paxton's dad. I mean, Bernard.
He actually is Bill Paxton's dad.
Oh, the actor.
The actor is really Bill Paxton's
Wow.
dad. Yeah.
Cameos for cameos.
Sir. Everyone is chummy again. Peter gives Harry his old basketball because he can't afford things. He's been ruined, remember?
Oh, yeah,
He's been
true.
ruined, financially ruined. He needs old basketballs. I can't imagine pre-Spider-Bite Peter playing basketball, but he was too much of a loser back then, you see.
According to Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
Harry talks about how they were pretty good in the backyard. Peter says they were terrible, and then they tried out for the varsity team. Harry asks if he has any girlfriends. Peter doesn't know. Peter and Harry play basketball through the house. Harry and Peter then walk through the mansion.
Looks like I'm not hurting for money.
Again, I harp back to Spider-Man 2. Peter sees the couch bed thing he put Norman's body on. He sees the ghosts of his past.
He always appreciated how you helped me through high school. Just wish I could remember more about him.
Well, he loved you. That's the main thing. Hey, let's go watch a game in the kitchen. Get something to eat.
Peter throws the ball at Harry, which knocks a vase. Harry shows his goblin skills by catching the ball in one hand and the vase in his other hand.
Did you see that?
Nah, I missed it. Do it again.
That's so mean. If only.
Still got the moves.
Yeah.
Cuts at MJ going to the theatre. When she walks in, she sees someone else rehearsing her role. Everyone stops when they see her. The producers come up to MJ. Hi, honey. We're trying to reach you. I'm sorry.
One critic?
No, all the papers, dear.
Mary Jane, honey, sit down. Let us explain it to you.
Listen, if you'd like, we could say you became ill.
MJ sadly walks away. That was so poorly handled.
Yeah.
Theatre. And scene. As MJ leaves, there is an applause. She smiles, thinking it's for her. But no, it's for Spider-Man. MJ shows her jealousy face. She looks upset that Spider-Man is getting praise, and she is not. Get over yourself, MJ. You see a guy on the ladder cover up Mary Jane Watson with the name Andrea Rubin on the theatre sign. Cuts a Peter at the key to the city celebration. He is soaking it all in. Eddie talks to Gwen. Turns out their relationship was just one coffee together. Poor Eddie always makes things about himself bigger and grander than they actually are. It's, I guess, a way Eddie hides his insecurities and doubts about himself. Well, that or he's just delusional.
He's got a mental Brock.
Mental Peter meets up with MJ at the celebration.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're not still mad at me, are you?
No, Peter. I'm proud of you.
Hey, I'm gonna be swinging in from over there.
Oh, yeah?
So, you know where to look?
Give them a good show.
Don't worry about that review. We're gonna be laughing about it tomorrow night, I promise.
Yeah.
Awkward. Peter walks off. Meanwhile, Flint is walking around New York. Sand is pouring out of one of his ears when he tips his head. I hate sand in my ear. It's coarse and irritating and gets everywhere.
He's waiting for that.
Two cops recognize Flint and pursue him. Flint runs behind a truck and disappears. One of the cops notices sand coming out of the large truck. The other cop climbs up on top of the truck, taking off the cover, revealing nothing but sand. The cop grabs a shovel and goes to stab it into the sand, but when he does, he gets thrown off the truck by a wild micro sandstorm. That cop ends up going face first through a car windshield. I'm like, oh, yeah, he goes face first through it. Yeah, a giant creature of sand emerges from the truck. The cops fire on the creature. Creature just knocks the cops out of the way, then turns into a sandstorm and flies away down the street. Cut to Gwen giving her valedictorian speech at graduation. No, wait, that was a better Gwen Stacy.
Oh, no. I was about to say, I was like, she was never valedictorian in this.
Oh no.
This Gwen is giving a speech to honor Spider-Man with the key to the city. Harry sees MJ in the crowd.
Hey, MJ. Harry! Where's Pete? Taking somebody's picture, I guess. Taking pictures of your friend? How is the bug these days?
There it is.
Oh, 2 weeks ago in my head.
I like the old lines. It's great.
They're coming back, man. I'm so happy to see you. You look so good, Harry. I've never felt better. It's a weird feeling not knowing who you are. Bump in the head. I'm as free as a bird.
Oh, I love it. It's so good. Bump on the head. I'm as free as a bird.
Will you bump me in the head? Bop. Hey, Pete said you were in a play. You came. You sent me flowers. I did? I'll come again tonight. You can't. I was let go. What happened? I wasn't very good. You know, this is embarrassing, but I once wrote you a play in high school. You wrote me a play? Yeah. Harry, that's the sweetest thing.
Peter lands on a nearby building. Mask off, of course. Better be careful, Peter, you know. Eddie is trying to catch you off guard.
True.
They love me.
I love how the marching band is playing the Spider-Man theme. That violinist from Spider-Man 2 must have made it a hit song.
Yeah.
Got millions.
Spider-Man.
She must have gone to American Idol or something.
Oh, it must be.
And he was like, yo, dog, you're going to Hollywood.
Kelly Clarkson.
Surely.
Spider-Man swings in, high-fiving the crowd as he swings along. Spider-Man drops down, upside down on the stage. You know how I said earlier how Peter makes some dumb choices in this film? Well, here is one of them. Spider-Man tells Gwen to upside-down kiss him, like the moment he and MJ had in the first Spider-Man film, knowing all too well that MJ is in fact watching. What the hell was Peter thinking?
Hope Pete's getting a good shot of this.
MJ storms off. Harry follows after, asking if she is okay. MJ says, she's fine. Then there is a small sandstorm that whizzes past the celebration. Cut to some guards loading money bags into an armoured truck. The sandstorm shows up as the truck starts to drive along the road. It is attacked by the giant sand creature. It breaks a hole through the roof. The creature fills the truck up with sand. The gas pedal is forced down by the sand, causing the truck to speed along and ram other vehicles. Those people in those armoured trucks must be like buried alive pretty much. It'd be terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Especially in sand. Ugh.
Yeah.
Big metal too.
Nasty.
Flint transforms back into man form. Spider-Man leaps into the truck.
Jigs up, pal.
I don't want to hurt you. Leave now.
I guess you haven't heard. I'm the sheriff around these parts.
Okay.
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 Flint swipes at Spidey, but Spidey ducks and punches a hole right through Flint's stomach. That's a cool shot too. I like that. Highlights include Flint enlarging his fist and smashing Spider-Man out of the back of the truck. Spider-Man using the back door of the truck to windsurf on the back with his webs. He put a back door in it, Keelin. So put there. Spider-Man sweep kicking Flint, which cuts his legs from under him, which literally cuts it, which is cool. And Flint turning one of his hands into a small mallet. Flint escapes while Spider-Man swings away onto a nearby building. When he takes off his mask, you can see his hair and face is covered in sand. You might say, it wasn't a day at the beach for old Spidey.
Where do all these guys come from?
That's a good question. If I was Spider-Man too, all these superpowered people are showing, I'm like, where are they all coming from?
Whoever's in charge of the universe, they're like, we need to give Spider-Man enemies. It's that simple.
Has anyone ever thought about going to LA for a change, you know?
You'd think.
Peter then empties his boot of sand. Cut to the restaurant Constellation. Peter walks in while MJ walks past a newsstand that has Gwen kissing Spider-Man. Peter goes into the restaurant where he is called over by the maitre d', who is of course, yet again, Bruce Campbell.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I don't speak.
Ah, but this is a French restaurant, no?
We?
Name, please.
Parker. Peter.
Maitre d' blows his whistle and a reservation list is brought to him.
Ah, here we are. Table for two. Parker.
Parker.
That is what I said. Becker.
I have a request. My girlfriend will be coming, and I have this ring. It has this marking on it. It seems to be some sort of Elvish or something. I can't read it. Oh, great. This ain't Lord of the
Bruce
Rings.
Campbell's in the movie for one scene. There are few that can. Mordor.
Maitre D gets his glasses so he can see the diamond.
Hello. Oh, so you want to pop the question tonight, huh?
Yes, and I want to do something very special.
I love it. Romance. I am French.
When I signal you, if you bring some champagne with the ring.
In the bottom of the glass?
Perfect. Also, I thought at the same time if the musicians would play this song.
Their favorite.
And take good care of the ring.
Oui, with my life, monsieur.
Maitre D leads Peter to his table. Peter practices his lines.
Oh, would you like some champagne? How did that get in there? Oh, don't cry.
MJ then walks in.
This place in your budget?
Wow, MJ, real nice.
Oh, well, it's like a special occasion. You're on Broadway. You're in Jumanji, Small Soldiers, Wag the Dog. I cried like a baby when I saw you in the interview with the vampire. Oh, God.
Crap, I didn't realize. You forget how many movies
Yeah,
he was in.
before this,
Yeah.
I don't feel like much of a star tonight.
Well, you are a star, and you've earned it.
Peter, you have no idea how I feel right now.
Oh, no? I know exactly how you feel. Listen, I have been through this. It happens to me all the time. I see Spider-Man posters in the window, kids running around with me on their sweaters, big Halloween item. I don't know, I guess I've become something of an icon.
Surprised you could fit yourself and that ego of yours, Peter, in that suit. They talk a little more, then Peter sees Gwen. Gwen comes over and introduces herself to MJ. As Peter waves at Gwen, the maitre d' thinks Peter is waving at him to bring the champagne glass with the ring in it. Peter waves him back off.
Hello, I'm Gwen Stacy, the inferior one, not the Emma Stone version.
I was like, inferior? That's not a line. Oh, wait a minute. Greg special.
Gwen shakes MJ's hand.
This is Mary Jane Watson.
Oh, it's nice to finally meet you. Pete talks about you all the time.
Oh?
Gwen is my lab partner in Dr. Connors' class.
Another dumb Peter mistake. Oh, by the way, that girl that I let kiss me as Spider-Man is also my lab partner at university. Let me wave her over to meet you.
Pete's something of a genius. I'd be completely lost without him. Which reminds me, Pete, if you got a picture of my kiss with Spider-Man, could you bring it to my class?
Ah, Peter. So goddamn stupid.
I really love it. For my portfolio. After all, who gets kissed by Spider-Man, right?
I can't imagine.
Oh, but you can. Oh, but you will. Sorry, that's the penguin from Batman Returns.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, it was lovely to meet you and spoil your night without even realizing it. Good night.
You need to chill, Greg. Damn.
Good night.
I was a little mad in the scene, I'm sorry. Peter waves goodbye at Gwen. Maitre d' thinks again Peter wants the champagne brought out, but not this time. Peter waves him back off yet again.
Oh, she's in my science class. It's not her best subject.
And thinking about other people's feelings isn't yours, Pete.
How come you never mentioned her? She's your lab partner? You saved her life? She thinks you're a genius, and she had her polished fingernails all over you?
I think instead of Gwen, they should have made Peter's lab partner Felicia Hardy. Could lead it into her trying to steal Peter from MJ more if the character was Felicia. Even if they waited to turn her into Black Cat further down the road, Bryce Dallas Howard to me looks more like a Felicia than a Gwen Stacy anyway.
Or didn't you notice?
Peter looks stunned and lost for words.
And she gave Spider-Man the key to the city. I'll never forget that.
She's just a girl in my class.
Let me ask you something. When you kissed her, who was kissing her? Spider-Man or Peter?
Mr. Parker, as your lawyer, I would advise you against answering that question.
What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean. That was our kiss. Why would you do that?
Mr. Parker will no longer be answering any more questions until the trial begins.
You must have known how it made me feel. Do you want to push me away?
Push you away? Why would I want to push you away? I love you. You're my girlfriend. She's a girl in my class, MJ.
I don't feel very well. I'm sorry. I have to go.
MJ gets up and leaves. Peter gets up too. The maitre d' thinks this is the signal and brings out the champagne. The song that Peter requested? It was the song from the Broadway musical that MJ was fired from.
Oh.
Peter is left devastated and fishes the ring out of the champagne with a fork. Peter rings MJ from the payphone just outside his apartment room. Surprisingly, MJ doesn't pick up, so Peter leaves a message on her answering machine. MJ goes to answer Peter, but he has already hung up. The phone then rings. Peter answers it. It's the police. Need him to come down to the 32nd precinct. Cut to the police station. Captain Stacy shows Peter and Aunt May some photos. Originally, we thought this man, Dennis Carradine, was your husband's killer. The thanks guy from the first movie. We were wrong.
What?
Turns out Mr. Carradine was only an accomplice. The actual killer is still at large.
What are you talking about?
This is the man who killed your husband. Alright guys, who do you think the killer is? Wrong answers only.
Mr. Dickovich.
It was Jameson.
I'm going to say the Punisher.
It was Betty.
We were all wrong. It was in fact Flint Marko.
No way.
Really? Yeah.
I really hate this. How they made Flint Marko be the killer. It's like, come on. That didn't need to be there.
Yeah. He's only built at 5'11", but he looks taller than that to me. His name is Flint Marko. He's a small-time crook who's been in and out of prison.
You got this wrong.
No. This is what you'd call a lazy setup in the third movie. You know, rewriting history for story purposes. 2 days ago, he escaped. Evidently, he confessed his guilt to a cellmate, and we have a couple of witnesses who will corroborate the story. Cut to a black and white retelling of Uncle Ben's murder. Now with new and improved Flint Marko appearances. Peter's retelling makes Flint look like a stone-cold killer. I like how the colour flashes for the gunshot, so when he shoots it's a colour of flash.
Would you put these photos away, please?
I'm sorry, Miss Parker. I know this isn't easy, but please, be patient with us. We're doing our job. We will catch him.
No, you're not doing your job. I watched my uncle die, and we chased down the wrong man. Now you're telling me you had suspicions for 2 years? Witnesses? Why weren't we told about this?
Settle down, son. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Says the cop.
No, I have no intention of settling down.
Well, actually, Peter, you were going to ask MJ to marry you.
That was good. That was good. That was actually a line as well, so that was good.
This man killed my uncle, and he's still out there.
I like that kind of shot where it shows the photo and it cuts away.
Yeah.
It's good. Cuts to Peter angrily tapping a shelf in his apartment. Peter hears a police call and waits to hear if it's potentially Flint. But nah, false alarm. Just some elderly man in the street. MJ knocks on Peter's door.
I'm not here about what happened at dinner. Just please open up.
MJ was told what happened by Aunt May and was worried.
I don't want you to do something stupid.
Like, try to find my uncle's killer?
And do something you'll regret. Like with that other guy.
He had a gun on me. I made a move and he fell. I told you that.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
Police radio goes.
Will you turn that thing off?
Peter goes to turn the radio down, but not off, so he's defying her, see?
Peter, I'm here because I care about you. And I know you made a mistake and that you feel guilty, but I want to be here for you.
Okay, I get it. Thank you. But I'm fine. I don't need your help.
Everybody needs help sometimes, Peter. Even Spider-Man. But not Batman. He's awesome.
Had to put it in there. Peter lies on his bed with most of his Spider-Man suit on, just missing the mask. Peter is full of negative energy from the vengeful thoughts he has having. This attracts the black ooze that has been in his room for a while now. The ooze latches onto Peter's hand as the darkness continues to enter Peter's mind. It causes the ooze to spread across Peter's body until it completely covers him. Peter blacks out.
Where am I?
Then wakes up on the side of a high-rise building. Peter sees his reflection. He's in a Spider-Man suit, only it's black and grey in colour. The symbiote Spider Man theme plays. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I like that. What Keelin said.
So good.
What is this? I feel... Wow. This feels good.
I like when he just said that line on the side of the building. He goes, this feels... Because his voice breaks. He goes, this feels... good.
See it. The power.
Do it. Yeah.
Do it.
Spider-Man swings around trying out the new suit. He then lands on a building and takes off the mask.
Huh? This is something else.
And it shows you how easy it is for him to take it off at the moment, because later on...
Yeah, not so much later on.
So Keelin, Tenson, thoughts on this version of the symbiote Spider-Man suit? Do you like it or don't like it?
I love it, eh? I think the fact that it looks like basically identical to the red suit but black works really well.
Yeah, it's just a clean finish. Not too much to say of it. We haven't really seen too much live adaptations of the black suit really at all, apart from this. But I like the direction they took for it. The grey lines really accented the whole suit. It really like popped out and just made him look real menacing. Whew.
I like it too. I like, because I know in the comics and in the video games it's an all black suit. You don't actually have the designs.
Yeah, no lines.
I love it how it's the designs of the Spider-Man suit but different colors. And yeah, it's my second favorite suit behind the original Raimi suit of all time, because I just think it's amazing. It looks really, really good. It pops well. It makes me excited for if they make a when they eventually will do a Miles Morales suit. If they have something similar to that, but they make it red to the grey.
How have they not put him on the big screen yet?
Well, they have. It's called Into the Spider-Verse.
A bit like live action.
Yeah, yeah, but it's going to happen eventually. And if they kind of have something similar style to that suit, but with red instead of the grey, I think it'll look incredible. Cuts of Peter with Dr. Connors in his classroom. Dr. Connors is having a look at some of the black ooze under a microscope.
What do you think?
I've never seen anything like it. Damn it, man. I'm a physicist, not a biologist. As Dr. Connors talks about running some tests in the morning, the ooze crawls off the microscope and heads towards Peter. Peter puts a glass over it. It seems to like you. Don't let any of that get on you.
Why not?
It has the characteristics of a symbiote, which needs to bond to a host to survive. And sometimes these things in nature, when they bind, they can be hard to unbind. It's like, unbind's the word for it? It sounds so dramatic. It's like, unbind. It's like,
Had to sound fancy.
Cuts of Peter arriving at his apartment. Peter hears about a bank robbery on the police scanner. A sandstorm was reported in the vicinity.
Marco.
Polo. Peter goes to grab his Spider-Man suit. As he's grabbing for it, he stops, looks down at the black chest he has at the bottom of the closet, opens it up to reveal the black Spider-Man suit. So again, it shows you again he can take it off at the moment. Spider-Man swings around in the black suit. The haunting sound of a choir can be heard. Reminds me of Tim Burton's films, especially Batman. They use the black suit, I guess it's intentional, as a drug metaphor.
Absolutely.
That if you start off with it and it's easy to kind of go back and forth with it, the more you get influenced by it, the darker you get, and the more you can't control yourself.
Which is what happens to Peter. Yeah.
Spider-Man arrives at the bank, but sees no sign of Flint. He then sees Sam traveling into the sewer. Eddie arrives at the scene from a taxi. Spider-Man lifts off the grate to the sewer by breaking it off the concrete. You see him lift it up, he just rips it out of the concrete.
Yeah.
Damn. Whoa. Buddy. Love the new outfit. This is exactly what I need to scoop Parker. Give me some of that web action. Spider-Man web grabs Eddie's camera and slams it against the wall, smashing the camera to bits.
See ya, chump. That line, iconic.
See you, Trump.
Spider-Man jumps down the sewer hole. Classic. Eddie yells out down after him. What the hell? Eddie then reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out another camera and just starts taking pictures while the cops arrive. But he's not aiming, he's just like taking photos of, he's just like, not even looking almost.
Just angles.
Shows he's a fake.
Weird, yeah.
You're a fake.
He's a crook.
You're a fake, bro.
He's a criminal.
Flint is walking underground next to some subway tracks, carrying a bag of money. You can hear a train in the distance. Spider-Man is crawling on the ceiling of a tunnel above Flint. It's cool. You can see him through the lights. As it lights up, you can see the black suit of Spider-Man is just chilling out there. I'm like, oh.
It's so good.
Flint looks up, thinking that he might have seen something. Spider-Man webs down in front of Flint.
Flint Marco.
Flint tries to sand fist Spider-Man, but ends up punching through some wall instead.
What do you want from me?
Remember Ben Parker? The old man you shot down in cold blood?
What does it matter to you anyway?
A subway train goes flying by.
Everything!
I love how dark Spider-Man is in this.
Yeah, that scream. Oh.
Everything!
And then,
Spider-Man webs onto the passing subway and launches at Flint, kicking Flint down to a lower level of train tracks. Flint loses the money to the bottom level. Wow, so many train track levels. Reminds me of the mines in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yes.
ding.
Highlights of the underground fight include Spider-Man swinging in, but Flint catching him with his sandy leg and slapping Spidey onto the tracks of an oncoming train. Spider-Man swinging back around and kicking Flint forward onto a moving train, then picking Flint up and grinding his face against a moving train. That's brutal. It shows you how brutal he is now, because old Spidey wouldn't do that.
No holes barred.
Spider-Man being pinballed between two moving trains. Spider-Man and Flint fighting while falling before Flint landing in some water, which causes him to start falling apart. He notices this when he goes to grab the money and his hand is all goopy. Spider-Man, noticing this, shows just how dark he has become by breaking a pipe that causes the water to rush in and wash Flint away. Spider-Man did this believing that it would kill Flint, but that was what Spider-Man was intending.
Good riddance.
Another good line. Good riddance. The way he says it, so dark and cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like good riddance.
Now all Spider-Man needs to do is kill some younglings, and his turn to the dark side will be complete.
Mr. Spider-Man.
Mr. Parker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
So good.
Cuts of Peter in an alleyway. He sees his face in a piece of mirror and decides he doesn't look emo enough, so he lets his fringe cover half his forehead. Peter then has a look of, what is happening, come over his face. As he does that, he's like, I don't know what's happening, I can't control it. Cuts of Peter walking up to the stairs to his apartment. Mr. Dickovich is sweeping outside his door.
Rent. Not now. Listen, it's free country. It's not rent-free country. Leave me alone. Give me rent. You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door.
Peter looks at Mr. Dickovich, but looks at Ursula with regret.
Yeah, sorry.
Peter opens up his door and slams it behind him. Ursula walks up to her dad.
That wasn't cool.
He is a good boy. He must be in some kind of trouble.
Shows you what Mr. Dickovich actually feels about Peter in
Yeah.
real life. He's hard on him because I think he cares for him so much. Peter paces around his room before he looks at himself in the mirror. He undoes his shirt and looks down at the black suit. Peter is starting to realize that the suit is indeed infecting him. Question is, does Peter care enough to stop? Peter takes off the black suit and puts it back in the chest in his closet. Okay, so he has. Question answered. Cuts of Peter talking to Aunt May. Peter is starting to feel a little more like his old self again, as his fringe has been slicked back to normal.
Flint Marko, the man who killed Uncle Ben, he was killed last night.
Oh my. What happened?
Spider-Man killed him.
Spider-Man? I don't understand. Spider-Man doesn't kill people. The Punisher does, though. Oh my, yes. And some wonderful kills he has done too, Peter. Anyway, what happened?
He was... I thought you'd feel he deserved it, didn't he?
Oh, I don't think it's for us to say whether a person deserves to live or die.
But Aunt May, he killed Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben meant the world to us, but he wouldn't want us living 1 second with revenge in our hearts. It's like a poison. It can take you over. Before you know it, turns into something ugly.
Cut to the streets of New York City. MJ comes out of the door of the jazz room. Nightly music, food, drink, and dancing. The waitress/singer wanted sign gets taken off the window. When MJ walks out, she has a look of defeat on her face. Don't know why. A singer-waitress isn't a bad job. Should have made her a stripper if they wanted to get that sort of emotion across. Should have been striptease.
Damn.
MJ sits on a bench. She goes to ring Peter, but instead rings Harry.
Harry.
MJ asks if she can come over. Harry says, sure.
Bernard.
It's Bernard.
Bernard.
Yes, Mr. Osborn.
We're having a guest. Can you get some food?
A guest?
Yeah, a guest.
A guest?
Will you just get some food?
Right away, sir. Cuts of Peter using the phone. I'm guessing he was going to ring MJ. Peter decides against it. Mr. Dickovich then comes out into the hallway with an orange.
Hey, Mr. Dickovich. An orange? No thanks. Listen, I'm really sorry for what happened earlier. I shouldn't have yelled about that door. It was nothing to be angry about. It was no big deal. But if you feel that bad about it, you can buy me pizza sometime. Today's good. Okay. Have problem with phone? No, I was trying to figure out what to say. If it's a woman you're calling, then you say, you're a good woman, I'm a good man.
Awkward silence. Peter is waiting for more from Mr. Dickovich.
Hi, Pete.
Hi. He's calling a woman.
Are you calling Mary Jane? I think that would be so good.
This is none of your business. Go.
Mr. Dickovich looks back at Peter.
Call?
You should call.
Thanks.
Ursula closes the door, then opens the door again.
Bye.
Bye.
Peter uses the phone. Cut to Osborne Mansion at night. Harry and MJ hang out. They start things off by cooking omelettes and doing the twist. Harry tries to flip the omelette over in the pan, but instead drops it on the ground. Ha ha! Classic goofy Harry! Oh. They then start acting out the play that Harry wrote for MJ in high school. MJ and Harry kiss, because MJ doesn't like to stick to one relationship. Every movie in the trilogy, MJ kisses someone else who isn't her current partner. She's not faithful.
No, wouldn't trust her.
She's what's it called? A lady of the streets.
Yes.
Well, she would be if she got that job, yeah. But no, she's a single waitress. MJ leaves as she regrets the kiss. Harry goes into his office and starts to drink scotch. Then, there is a familiar voice. You've taken your eye off the ball. It's Norman. Harry looks at the painting of Norman, which causes some white flashes. Then Harry looks at the man in the mirror. He's asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change.
I was expecting that.
Harry. Harry touches the mirror, which somehow brings all his memories of Spider-Man vengeance back. Harry. Harry looks up in the mirror. Norman is there. Remember me?
Yes, Father. I remember.
I was right about her, about Peter, about everything. You know what you must do. Make him suffer. Make him wish he were dead. First, we attack his heart.
So good.
MJ arrives back at her apartment. The light switch doesn't work. The answering machine goes off. It's Peter. Peter is trying to apologize to MJ about him yelling at her the night before. He doesn't know what he was thinking. But all we know is it was vengeance.
No punishment.
As MJ approaches the answering machine, she is violently grabbed by the throat by Harry on his rad hoverboard from Back to the Future Part 2.
If you want Peter to live, you're gonna do something for me.
It sounds like a lot creepier.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's going to be like, I want you to break up. I'm going to bring out little Harry Goblin. Yeah.
Oh, waiting for that.
Cut to the next day. Ursula knocks on Peter's door.
It's Ursula.
Yeah?
Ursula struggles to open the door.
Hi, Pete.
Hi.
Anyone else wish that Peter and Ursula ended up together? Peter could have had Mr. Dickovich as his father-in-law.
Imagine that.
Pete going around, rent.
Rent.
Did I do it, Dad?
Where's my money?
In all truthfulness, she's the nicest person to Peter in this whole trilogy.
Yeah.
She wants nothing but happiness for him. It's always positivity, and he's like, I'm going to go with MJ, who's always stroppy.
Yeah.
Stroppy and sad because she's, she's not Spider-Man.
There's a phone call for you. It's Mary Jane. She called back.
Really?
Yeah. I'll put the phone on top of the...
Thanks.
Thanks. Impressive. MJ asks if Peter can meet her. Peter agrees to meet at the bridge in the park. Cuts to Peter walking to the bridge in the park with some flowers. Peter walks up to MJ.
You look beautiful. Peonies? You okay?
There's something I need to tell you, Pete.
Okay.
It's not working. You and me.
What?
I don't want to see you anymore.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm lonely. You aren't there for me. I can't do this. It's over.
No, please. Please don't say that.
Peter's ugly crow face appears.
Yeah, that face. Right.
I know I've been selfish, but I can do better. I can change.
It's not that simple.
We love each other. I love you. We have problems. When people have problems, they work it out. They talk to each other.
Peter pulls out the engagement ring from his pocket.
Look, you see? You know what this is.
One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Man, MJ's on some crack as a shaver. What did Harry give her? Some juiced up goblin serum.
You know what I want for us.
There's someone else. I've fallen in love with someone else.
MJ walks away. Peter just stands at the bridge, destroyed. Harry is watching from a nearby tree. He smiles and nods at MJ.
Bravo.
It's coming to one of my favourite moments in the whole trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Cut to Peter and Harry at a cafe.
She says that she's lonely and that I'm not there for her. There's another guy.
Well, how are you holding up?
Not good. Harry, I was gonna propose to her.
Really? Well, she's been going through a tough time lately. Career, a singing waitress at a jazz club? It's not exactly what she had in mind for herself.
Singing waitress? What are you? What are you talking about?
Well, she was fired from the show. Didn't she tell you?
She was fired? She was fired and she told you? She didn't tell me?
Well, that's why I asked you here, Pete. I'm the other guy.
What?
Look, she came to me one afternoon, troubled. She needed someone, and I was there for her. I've always loved her, Pete. You know that. It just started.
I don't believe this. I don't believe you.
Look, I'm sorry. I thought you should know.
Peter leaves. Here comes one of my most used gifs. If you ever get a message from me, I use this gif so often.
He does.
Yeah, all the time.
Can I warm it up?
Yes, please.
How's the pie?
So good.
I love it. This when he's like, "How's the pie?" Because he's just soaking, and then he's like, "So good."
And then the wink.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the turn around and he winks?
Peter looks back at Harry, who turns and smile winks at Peter. A truck goes past, obscuring Peter's vision for a mere second, but Harry disappears.
He's just under the table.
Peter sits at the end of his bed, just staring. The black suit theme starts to play, as vengeful thoughts come back in Peter's mind. The shot zooms in on the chest that the black Spider-Man suit is in. Cut to Osborn Manor. Harry is making a martini. He puts down the bottle, and when the camera tilts back up, Peter, with a front fringe, is standing behind him.
Would you like a drink? I'm sorry. What was I thinking? Bad for the public image, right, Mr. Key to the City?
What did you do to her?
I did what you failed to do. I was there for her. Mary Jane and I, we understand each other.
She doesn't know what you are.
Oh, Peter, she knows me very well. And when she kissed me, it was just like she used to kiss me. That taste, whew, strawberries.
That's one of your favourite lines here, Tenson.
Yes. I love that line.
Touches his lips when he sees strawberries, like,
Strawberries.
Yeah.
Peter punches Harry to begin this fight. Highlights include Harry stabbing Peter with a dagger he was going to stab him with in Spider-Man 2. Notice that? The dagger he grabs is the one he was going to kill him with originally. Harry swinging his arm spikes at Peter, making a whistling noise as they go past Peter's head. I love that. Kind of goes... Harry almost stabbing Peter through the eye with a spike gauntlet.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's nasty. Someone who's had eye surgery before, I'm like... Harry kicking Peter across the room and over a table.
How'd you like that, Spidey?
That's all you got?
Peter kicking Harry through his glass window door to the balcony, causing Harry to bleed from the mouth.
Stings, doesn't it?
I protected you in high school, now I'm gonna kick your little ass.
I hope Peter there, he's like, ooh. Peter throwing Harry across the room that causes Harry to hit his head on the upstairs railing. Peter and Harry crashing through the mirror and into the goblin lair. Harry using a goblin sword. Harry hitting a computer which causes the hoverboard to spin wildly out of control around the room. Peter holding up Harry from the ground so that he gets hit by the hoverboard.
Gonna kill me like you killed my father?
I'm done trying to convince you.
You took him from me. He loved me.
No, he despised you. You were an embarrassment to him.
That line is cold when he says it in the thing. He's
Very
like,
cold.
He's like, no. He's like, he smiles when he goes, no. He despised you.
Oh, look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry? So bad.
Harry gets up to hit Peter, but Peter just hits Harry with a violent throat punch. Notice that? Just like slams into his throat, just knocks him back on his ass. That sends Harry crashing to the ground like a sack of potatoes. Peter walks away. Harry throws a pumpkin bomb at Peter, but Peter web slingshots it back at Harry, causing the pumpkin bomb to explode in Harry's face. Two-Face is born.
Harvey? Harvey Dent.
Oh my god, quite similar actually.
Yes.
It is, but it's still better than the Batman Forever way of how Tommy Lee Jones became Two-Face. A piece of paper protected half his face from acid.
Wow. Acid resistant paper.
And it has Batman like leaping over the table in a courtroom, like, no!
Not the paper.
Cuts of Peter walking down the street. The suit gives Peter the impression that all the ladies are looking at him. I didn't notice it so much until looking at this. Like, I noticed that he thought it was cool and stuff, but the symbiote is making it look like all the ladies want him. but they don't. You can see when they walk past, they don't even look at him, they don't care. You watch it back again, it's in his interpretation. They're always, all the women are looking at him, every single one.
And then they just looking at him like cringe.
I always thought that he's just trying to be cool and it's kind of a comedy thing. But when I stopped looking at him and started looking at everyone around him, I was like, wow, that symbiote really is making him lift his spirits and confidence. Peter then notices a picture on the front page of the Daily Bugle. It says, Thief. Spider-Man shows his true colors. There is a picture of the black-suited Spider-Man fleeing the bank with the money. The people around the newsstand are upset and angry at Spider-Man for supposedly stealing money. At the bottom of the photo, it says, Photo by Eddie Brock.
I'm going to put some dirt in your eye.
Another great... So many... Like, we had like
Yeah,
4 or
man.
5 bangers and just...
Legit.
So good.
in a short amount of time. Cut to the Daily Bugle. There is a group around Eddie congratulating him for busting Spidey and for getting the photographer's staffing job. Well, you might want to tell JJ to make a little more wall space. Eddie hangs up a framed picture of the front page of Spider-Man stealing. In the reflection, you can see Peter. Whoa, good morning. It's a beautiful day, huh? What was it you said? I'll never get that picture? There's your hero.
Huh? I never thought it'd really do that.
See? Right there. You made a judgment call. You gotta see it as it is.
It's funny you should say that because I was looking through some old photos and it looks very,
Peter grabs his chest.
similar.
Okay. Well, I gotta get back to work.
You're trash, Brock.
Another great line. So good. Excuse me? Peter throws down some evidence of Eddie's so-called photo.
Your pictures are fake.
Oh, Parker, you're such a Boy Scout. When are you gonna give a guy a break? Peter strong-arms Eddie and slams him into a framed picture, breaking the glass. This alerts the rest of the office.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
So many.
And it's a foreshadowing for later on.
Yeah, true.
Because later on he goes to get religion to get payback.
That's very true. So good.
What's going on here?
Are you guys alright? Yeah, no, we were just horsing around. Eddie leans in and whispers to Peter, Look, I'm begging you. If you do this, I will lose everything. There's not a paper in town that will hire me.
You should have thought of that earlier.
What are you doing, Peter?
Show this to your editor. Tell him to check his sources next time.
Peter gives Robbie the photo evidence, then confidently walks out of the office. Cut to Robbie showing Jameson the photo evidence. Eddie is also in the office, his head held low.
It's a fake. Empire State Photographic Department confirms it.
Pack your things. Get out of my building.
I was just trying...
You're fired.
You know, we're gonna have to print a retraction now.
I haven't printed a retraction in 20 years.
The funky music kicks in from the montage here. Cut to a Daily Bugle newspaper front page saying, Sorry, Spidey, Bugle drops charges. Photographer fired. Bugle issues apology. It's time to cue the music. The song People Get Up and Drive Your Funky Soul by James Brown starts to play, as Peter starts his now infamous strut and dance segment. Highlights include Peter getting Ursula to grab him some cookies and milk while he's on the phone. Dr. Connors talks to Peter while he pretends to fall asleep. Connors tells Peter more about the symbiote, but Peter's not listening. Dr. Connors says that the symbiote amplifies characteristics of its host, especially aggression. Peter's strutting while the ladies look disgusted by his moves, but all Peter sees is the ladies liking what they see. And Peter hitting on Betty at the Bugle.
Parker, Miss Brent, that's not the position I hired you for.
I love that line. I was like, I wasn't going to put any lines in the montage, but because of that, I was like, I have to get that one.
Yeah, so good.
Not the position I hired you for. Robbie looks at the photos Peter brought in.
Black suited Spider Man? Peter, these are incredible. We gotta have these, Jonah.
I'll pay you the usual rate.
If you want the shots, I'll take the staff job. Double the money.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Peter, now you know how to do
And
business.
this is where the trigger fingers start coming out when he's walking. Jameson looks confused by Peter's new bold attitude. Peter walking into a suit shop. I say walking, but he's more gliding. When Peter comes out, he's wearing an all-black suit. Not an all-black suit, though. He's not wearing the suit of a team that lost to Argentina last night. This is going to date this podcast, isn't it?
Terrible.
But he's wearing an all-black suit. Then comes the most memed thing in any of the Spider-Man movies. Peter's dorky, thinks he's cool dance routine. I love how two ladies are just freaked out by it as they sneak away from behind him. I like Tobey Maguire when he's asked about it when he was in No Way Home. Spoiler alert. But it's coming out now. The page of it, actually, the new promotional poster has all of them on it, so it's no longer a spoiler. He said that it takes someone with incredible talent to make someone look that dorky when they dance.
Yeah, it does.
He's embracing it. I enjoy it. Cut to nighttime. An exit sewer pipe. Flint Marco reforms. I mean his sand body, not his criminal ways.
Oh.
Flint looks at the picture of his daughter in the locket.
Penny.
Bernie.
Penny.
Flint jogs on. Cut to Peter and Gwen walking along the street. They're going on a date.
Do you think I'm dressed all right? Too fancy or too?
Are you kidding me? You're looking fine, babe.
I like how your Gwen kind of sounds like Marge Simpson.
Homer! Oh, okay.
Eddie is following behind him. Like a creep.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I love that little giggle.
He's so slimy at the moment, isn't he, Peter?
What a get.
Sleaze bag.
This thing of the waitress is so wrong, too. Peter and Gwen enter the jazz club, the same place MJ works at.
Oh, I hope we get a table.
Peter whistles to a waitress and whispers in her ear.
Find us some shade.
That line is like, what are you talking about? Find us some shade. Peter hands some cash over discreetly to the waitress.
It gets worse.
Here you go. Here you go.
Legs, hot legs.
Oh. Didn't know we stopped at KFC.
Right this way, sir.
So bad.
I thought she rolled her eyes, but she never does. I just got that impression. The waitress leads Peter and Gwen to a reserved table.
I am so loving this.
Oh, me too.
I love it. He says that Gwen thinks that he means the jazz club, but he loves that he's rubbing it into MJ.
Yeah.
MJ goes past the table.
Isn't that your old girlfriend?
Yeah?
Do you want to go someplace else?
Oh, no. I'll be okay.
MJ is about to sing on stage. Peter leaves the table and starts playing the piano. Does his Spidey abilities give him mad piano skills? Or did he learn this from Aunt May?
Must have been Aunt May, surely.
Nah, it's the spider bite.
Makes you a great musician.
Of course.
This is going to be another shot drinking time here.
Oh no, don't do
This
it.
bit reminds me of Ron Burgundy in The Anchorman plays jazz flute. And he goes all around the club. Even goes underneath the cubicles in the bathroom and starts playing it. And goes, jazz flute. Never got cooler than that. Peter then leaps and dances in the air, jumping from the piano to the bar. He then swings from a light onto a chair. Then he does some more dance moves. Peter throws his jacket at MJ and does more dance moves.
Now, dig this.
Peter starts to snap his fingers and thrust his pelvis, MJ style. No, not Mary Jane. Michael Jackson. Peter then starts to dance with Gwen. They do the dance of seduction. The crowd applauds. Peter looks at MJ. Gwen realizes now that he was just trying to make MJ jealous.
That was all for her?
Gwen goes, he's fully learned the Marge Simpson side.
I love it.
Gwen goes up to MJ.
I'm so sorry.
Gwen storms off. Peter grabs his chest and once again, Peter comes up to MJ.
Hey.
What's wrong with you?
You.
The manager then steps in front of MJ and talks to Peter. Can I help you, sir?
No.
Bouncer comes over.
Is everything okay here, Paul?
Yeah. Is everything okay here, Paul?
Get him out of here.
Let's go, sir.
Bouncer grabs Peter by the arm.
Take your hand off of me.
Now.
Peter fights the bouncer and another guy who tries to restrain Peter. Peter starts knocking back all comers. MJ tries to stop Peter, knowing full well what he is capable of. Peter accidentally strikes MJ down to the ground. Peter has a moment of realization of what he has just done.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
Yeah! That was really good. Yeah. No, you nailed that. That was awesome.
I can't do Gwen, but I can do Batman.
You can do Batman.
I was like, am I sitting next to Christian Bale or something?
I don't know.
You can clearly see his Spider-Man suit under his shirt. Everyone can see who he is. That's right, it's happened before. But New Yorkers just don't care. Peter realizes the suit is the thing that is causing him so much anger. Peter runs off. It's a bit weird that everyone stopped grabbing him after he hit MJ. Peter is in the rain, distraught for what he has just done. Peter hears a church bell chime from a nearby church. Cut to the top of the church. Spider-Man is up by the top, head down in the pouring rain. This is a superb shot.
Probably the best shot of the movie, yeah.
So good. Spider-Man leaps down to the interior of the bell tower. Eddie is in the church. He cleanses his forehead in holy water. Eddie starts to pray. It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock Jr. I came before you today, humbled and humiliated, to ask you for one thing. I want you to kill Peter Parker. Cuts of Peter up the top of the church, trying to rip off the black Spider-Man suit. But now the symbiote, sensing Peter's reluctance to use it, will not come off. Peter knocks against the bell. The sound seems to aggravate the symbiote, sending it into a frenzy and momentarily separating it from Peter. Eddie can hear Peter up in the bell tower. Peter continues to attempt to rip off the suit. Eddie opens the doors to the below stairs and sees Peter ripping off the suit. How can he see Peter from that far up in this kind of weather?
The camera angle was just right on his face, and that was a point of view shot, so he saw him.
If he had his camera still with him, because he used it before to see Gwen,
Yeah.
then that would have made sense and it would be a good payoff, but they didn't do that.
No.
Parker! Some of the symbiotes drop down onto Eddie. Eddie quickly removes his hoodie. More of the symbiote drips down onto Eddie, this time on his hand. More and more of the symbiote latches on to Eddie as Peter lies buck-ass nude at the top of the tower. I like the Eddie transformation scene, where at first he attempts to resist it, but by the end of it he's smiling as he can feel the power.
He likes it, yeah.
Like the Vortex Mega Hella from the 90s, that gridiron ball thing, with the rugby balls, feel the power!
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually like the transition scene here, I actually quite like it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this harkens back to Raimi's horror roots as well, because it's quite terrifying, the transformation.
Yeah, what always got me as a kid, I remember this scene vividly, this whole scene, was just when, like, the symbiote was crawling into his mouth and, like, gagging it, choking him. As a kid, that was, like, nightmare fuel right there.
And then the teeth and then the change was like...
Yeah, that sound is going to he's like...
Yeah, oh, God, nightmares.
Peter is taking a shower back at his apartment, like he's trying to cleanse himself of the symbiote. Cuts to Peter sitting in a corner of his room, where there is a knock at the door. The doorknob comes off the door. It's Aunt May.
When we spoke on the phone, I sensed that something was bothering you, so I thought I'd just come by. How's Mary Jane?
I don't know.
I never heard from you. Did you ever propose?
You said a husband's got to put a wife before himself.
Peter hands the ring back to Aunt May.
I'm not ready.
But what happened? You seem so sure.
Bad goo, Aunt May. Bad goo. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Bad goo.
Bad goo.
I hurt her, Aunt May. I don't know what to do.
Well, you start by doing the hardest thing. Watching Morbius.
Oh my God.
You forgive yourself. I believe in you, Peter. You're a good person, and I know you will find a way to put it right.
Aunt May puts the ring on top of Peter's TV.
In time.
Aunt May leaves. Cut to what looks like to be the black-suited Spider-Man swinging through the city. You then see the shadow of Flint knock down the Spider-Man-looking thing.
End of the line, Spider-Man.
Flint sees that this is not Spider-Man. I want him dead too, Flint. That's why I've been looking for you. Oh yeah, I know all about you. Like the fact that Spider-Man won't let you help your poor daughter. It's just, that doesn't seem right to me. Look, I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. Together, he doesn't stand a chance. Interested?
Yeah.
End of movie.
The end of Spider-Man.
Cuts to Peter spying on MJ in her apartment from the street. Pete looks sad and walks away. MJ hails down a cab so she can get to work. When MJ gets in, the audience realize it's Eddie. So, where to? MJ is grabbed by a black rubber hand, or black rubber arm, sorry. If you pause on it, it's just a rubber arm sleeve. Like I pause on it, it's just an arm sleeve that's grabbing the throat. Sometimes low budget's still the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Breaking news, city in crisis. A news anchor with bug eyes that point outwards updates the audience about what is happening. He does have bug eyes.
We're looking for Morty Smith.
It then crosses to a reporter on site. A young woman held hostage in a taxi suspended 80 stories above the ground in what appears to be a giant web.
Every attempt by the police to rescue the hostage has been thwarted by the Sandman.
Peter sees the news report on a TV on the street.
Compounding the danger is the appearance of a strange black-suited figure. Early reports had believed him to be the black-suited Spider Man, but he has now been identified as something entirely different. The hostage has been identified as Mary Jane Watson, an actress recently seen in a brief stint on Broadway.
Peter runs back to his apartment. He goes under his bed, pulls out the case that the black suit used to be in. Peter pulls out his classic red, blue, and black Spider-Man suit. The theme plays. The news reports continue. There appears to be lettering in the web. Web reads, Spider-Man, stop us if you can. MJ is still in the taxi high above. Harry turns on the TV. He too is watching. Peter arrives at Harry's place.
Harry, I need your help. I can't take them both, not by myself.
Harry turns around, revealing that half his face is now disfigured.
You don't deserve my help.
You kind of did that to yourself, Harry. He did. He threw the bomb at him.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
Harry, she needs us.
Get out.
Peter leaves. Harry picks up his goblin sword in the goblin lair. If I may, sir, I've seen things in this house I've never spoken of. Yes, we know, Bernard. We keep trying to convince you to tell him, but nope.
What are you trying to tell me?
The night your father died, I cleaned his wound. The blade that pierced his body came from his glider. Why only tell him now, Bernard? Why? I know you're trying to defend your father's honor, but there's no question that he died by his own hand. This bit was such a cop-out. Like, they couldn't figure out a way to get Harry to help Peter in an earned and rewarding way. So instead they just have Bernard tell him something he could have said 2 movies ago.
Then we wouldn't have had the 2 movies.
Just the one Spider-Man movie.
You can't help but laugh every time he says
Yeah,
that.
for real.
It's such a cop-out line. It's like when Harry gets amnesia earlier on. It's just a cop-out. To kind of forget about that for the meantime while we concentrate on something else.
It's trying to fill in all of the bad writing, trying to distract the audience.
I think the way that movies are supposed to be, you show it, you don't say it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have to say it, you almost feel like you failed. I loved your father as I have loved you, Harry. As your friends love you. Cut back to the construction site where Venom and Sandman have MJ still trapped up high in the taxi. The webs on the taxi begin to break. The taxi freefalls through the webs until it gets caught on some more webs. Spider-Man comes swinging in. He lands in front of an American flag, of course. Cue eye roll. He seems to come out of nowhere to answer the prayers of the city just when all hope seemed to be lost. Geez, really, lady? Calm down. Peter lands on the bonnet of the taxi.
Peter, they're gonna kill us both.
I'm gonna get you out of this.
Watch out!
Venom knocks Spidey through the taxi, turning it into a convertible. Venom unmasks to reveal himself. Hey, Parker.
My God, Eddie.
My Spidey senses are tingling, if you know what I'm talking about. Apparently, that was a line that Topher Grace came up with and pushed hard to have in the movie, but it's not a great line.
No.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Probably shouldn't have had Eddie with the fangs. Makes it hard for him to talk. Eddie knocks Spider-Man down the webs. Eddie then ties up Spider-Man's wrists. Eddie lands on Spider-Man and pulls Spidey's mask off.
We can find a way to settle this.
You're so right. I'm thinking humiliation. Kind of how you humiliated me. Do you remember? When we fell in love, we were young and innocent then.
Do you remember?
Do you remember what you did to me? The dump truck that is also up in the web start dropping concrete cinder blocks. They narrowly miss MJ and start falling down the web. One of the cinder blocks knocks away the taxi door, creating a big drop if MJ was to let go. You made me lose my girl. Now I'm gonna make you lose yours. How's that sound, Tiger? I think the symbiote has given Eddie some of Peter's memories. How else would he know the Tiger line?
Well, that's what the symbiote does. It copies memories and powers, and then whoever puts on the suit will have that power, which is why Eddie can crawl on walls and stuff.
Have webs. Eddie goes to hit Peter, but when MJ drops a cinder block from a taxi onto Venom, the distraction gives Peter a chance to free himself. Some more free-falling fighting. CGI is better than Spidey 2, but not a lot better.
No.
Peter falls into the sand below. Surprised none of the reporters get a snap of unmasked Spider-Man here. The dump truck falls towards the taxi. MJ jumps onto the webs just in time. Spider-Man has masked back up.
Hold on, Mary Jane.
Hold on, Mary Jane!
The sandy ground below Spidey starts to move. A giant sandstorm emerges. Spidey dodges Sandman's attacks while he tries to find a way up to MJ. Spider-Man is making his way up to MJ when he is violently cut off by Eddie. Sandman continues to grow. He now towers over where Spider-Man is. Eddie grabs Spidey by the throat with webs and holds him down while Sandman pummels Spidey. Spider-Man's mask gets all torn up again. Every movie he gets a torn up mask.
Can never last.
Spider-Man keeps reaching as he gets weaker and weaker from the Sandman attacks. It's hard to believe what is happening. The brutality of it. I don't know how he can take anymore. Peter reaches up his hand to MJ. He then gets pummeled again by Sandman. Suddenly, a projectile gets thrown into Sandman's head. It's a pumpkin bomb. The bomb explodes, causing Sandman to have fiery red hair. It's a Simpson thing too. He went by the name of Homer. Arms like tree trunks. Harry comes surfing in and knocks Eddie down.
You came.
Harry reaches out his hand to Peter.
Looks like just in the nick of time.
A couple of minutes ago wouldn't be so bad either.
What are you gonna do?
The following handicap match has now become an elimination tag team contest. Harry and Peter do a cool tag team move where Harry swings Peter around so he kicks Sandman and then smacks into Eddie. Harry uses the flamethrower function on his hoverboard to subdue Sandman.
So good.
Love that. It's so good.
Harry then smashes Sandman's hand as heated sand turns to glass. So he heats up his hand and then smashes it.
Nice touch. That's some brains from him, from a man with no powers.
To some high school science that you got taught from Peter. Jameson shows up at the police barricade nearby. Jameson calls for Parker, but we know he's not coming.
I need a photographer. Hey kid, you want a job?
Why would I want a job? I'm just a kid.
Alright, how much for the camera?
$100.
$100!
Jameson looks up at all the action he is missing.
Alright, you little crook. Here.
Jameson goes to take a picture. It doesn't work, so he checks the film cartridge. Empty.
Film's extra.
I like that little kid, eh?
Yeah. So cheap.
Jameson looked at her like,
Damn, this kid's nearly as good as me.
Jameson snarls as he grabs for his wallet. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Cut back to the tag team match. There's a lot of CGI in this battle.
"Hey Pete, up top."
MJ rolls out of the way of the falling taxi. MJ almost falls, but manages to hang on to a web. Spider-Man and Harry ride the hoverboard. MJ falls, so the hoverboarding buddies chase down after her.
This thing got any more?
Hang on.
To what?
The hoverboard speed past Sandman.
Go, buddy.
Got her.
So cheesy how like
I know. I was rewatching this last night, and I was like, damn, when these two are talking, it's so cheesy in this scene.
Oh.
What the heck?
Like a lot of this movie.
Go, buddy. I got her. And then jump.
I think the problem is none of the trilogy. You've never seen enough Harry and Peter bonding
Which
before.
is really my biggest gripe of the whole trilogy. That's the thing I hate the most about the three movies. The Harry and Peter relationship.
There's not enough.
There's no social relationship there, really.
It's not really developed very well at all. Yeah.
Because we know they have the backstory, but we don't have any connection with them as a buddy as well.
Peter jumps off the board and grabs MJ, then whips back to the board. Peter and MJ land on one of the levels of the construction site. Meanwhile, Harry is being attacked.
Hey, Pete! Am I interrupting something?
Peter and Harry double-team Sandman. Man, Eddie's been out of the game for a while. He must have been put through a table. Spidey gets knocked down by Sandman. Harry starts firing rockets at Sandman. Sandman crumbles to the ground. Peter can hear Eddie around somewhere. Peter gets grabbed by Eddie and thrown into a steel beam. Notice I say Eddie a lot here, not Venom, because he's not really Venom.
No.
Peter is tied up again by Venom webbing. So it's webbing of Venom, but not Eddie. not Venom itself.
I get you.
Peter is tied up again by webbing and beaten with a Haggerty steel bar. I haven't said jagged, but it says Haggerty. And beaten with a jaggedy steel bar. Never wound what you can't kill.
Eddie, the suit. You gotta take it off.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Eddie puts the sharp edge of the metal bar to Peter's throat.
I know what it feels like. It feels good. The power. Everything. But you'll lose yourself. Let it go.
I like being bad. It makes me happy. Harry throws some of those flying goblin blades at Eddie. Harry then brings out the blades on the end of his board. Uh-oh. Eddie knocks Harry off his board, and then Eddie grabs the board. As Harry falls, he knocks a bunch of steel pipes down. The sound of the pipes is similar to the church bells, which sets Eddie's symbiote off. Eddie leaps at Peter with blades on Harry's board, aimed directly at him. Harry gets in front of Peter and takes the blades through the chest. There are plenty of things Harry could have done here, like maybe knock Eddie off Peter's path, but no, jumping in front was apparently his best option. The return of...
Oh,
It's so much louder in the movie.
this scene actually killed me when I was a kid, though. I cried so hard. It still gets me, bro. It still does.
Eddie throws Harry away like he's a piece of trash. MJ watches Harry drop to the level below. Peter breaks free of one of the wrist webbings. He reaches for that jagged metal beam that Eddie had before, but he can't reach it. Peter then whips it towards him.
I don't get that. So many scenes in all the trilogy, he's reaching for something like, oh, if only I had some sort of grapple hook device that could help me. Oh, wait. I forgot I'm Spider-Man.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like, come on, dude.
Not great.
Peter breaks the other web wrist rope and smacks Eddie with the metal stick. Peter then clangs together 2 pipes, which annoys Eddie's symbiote. Peter then surrounds Eddie with pipes in the ground. Peter uses a pipe to smack them, vibrating a sound around Eddie. The sound amplifies so much that Peter manages to web up Eddie and forcefully remove him from the symbiote. Peter stares up at the horror that is the symbiote. Reminds me of the T-1000 when it gets blown up by a rocket. It's walking around all messed up. Kind of like, it just looks like that in Terminator 2. Peter throws a pumpkin bomb into the pipe area. What are you doing? As Peter throws the grenade, Eddie jumps back towards the symbiote. You can see Eddie's skeleton in the explosion. Flint sees Peter destroy Eddie and the symbiote and decides to stop fighting. He just looks like he goes, maybe I'll stop now and just try to reason with them. MJ comes down to see Harry.
Harry. MJ. I'm going to get help. No. Stay.
Flint starts talking to Peter.
I didn't want this, but I had no choice.
We always have a choice. You had a choice when you killed my uncle.
My daughter was dying. I needed money. I was scared.
Flashback time.
I told your uncle. All I wanted was the car.
What is it?
I need your car. He said to me, why don't you just put down the gun and go home? I realize now he was trying to help me. Then I saw my partner running with the cash, and the gun was in my hand. I did a terrible thing to you, and I spent a lot of nights wishing I could take it back. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just want you to understand.
I've done terrible things too. Like watching Morbius.
Oh my god! Now I'm gonna kill you. And your Aunt May too.
Flint turns away from Peter, disgusted that he has watched Morbius. Flint looks at the crowds below.
I didn't choose to be this. The only thing left for me now is my daughter.
I forgive you.
Flint sands away. Pretty sure he still needs to go to jail, Pete. Forgiveness or not. Peter then finally goes down to see Harry. Way to delay while your friend is dying, Peter.
That's rough.
It is. I want to have a whole conversation while you're dying.
For real though.
Yeah.
Hey, pal. How you doing?
Been better.
We'll get you through this.
Peter then puts a pillow over Harry's face. Shh, shh. Now, Harry.
It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Oh,
No,
I should never have hurt you. Said those things.
none of that matters, Peter.
None of our prior relationship matters now, Peter. Cue Peter ugly crying face.
You're my friend.
Best friend.
Harry dies and completes the goblin cycle, killed by his own glider blades. I wonder if Bernard will clean his wounds too.
And then Harry's younger brother is like, Spider-Man killed my brother.
Bernard might get the money now that all the Osborns are dead.
Oh my god, he was the true goblin all along. It was all a scheme.
That's what the laughing was in the house. Like every time you heard that.
It was just Bernard and some pipes, like, ah!
Yeah, it was Bernard.
Peter gets an uglier crying face. Cut to the daytime, where everyone is enjoying yet another Osborn funeral. Peter stares at MJ like a creep at the funeral. Time for some Peter narration.
Whatever comes our way, whatever battle we have raging inside us, we always have a choice. My friend Harry taught me that. His father taught me how to sleep. Sleep.
You thought we were going to get through a whole Spider-Man podcast without saying sleep.
Never. He chose to be the best of himself. It's the choices that make us who we are, and we can always choose to do what's right.
Cut to MJ singing at the jazz club. Peter walks into the club, surprised. He doesn't get asked to leave, being what happened the last time. MJ stops singing when she sees Peter. Peter reaches his hand out to MJ. MJ grabs Peter's hand and hugs him, and they start to dance. Spider-Man will return in about 14 years.
Yeah.
Made us wait a little.
End of movie.
Wait!
Well, that was fun.
We did it.
Now let's go to our ratings, shall we?
Nobody does it, Bennett. Worst of the worst.
Right, so we've done our ratings now for Spider-Man 3 from 2007. Well, since the three of us for the first time ever in Worst of the Worst, means that I will not be voting, but I'll still give you my thoughts. For number one, how entertaining is the film? Tenson, what have you given it out of 5?
So I've given entertainment value of the movie a 4. while it is a bad movie, I think it's entertaining to watch, and there's a lot of like hilarious lines and funny moments littered throughout the movie that make it entertaining, even if it is a different sort of entertaining than it being like a great movie, which is why I've given it a 4.
And Keelin, what have you given that?
I gave it a perfect 5. This movie's crack up. Yeah, like you said, acclaimed to be a bad movie, but man, it's funny. There's like, even the bad bits were funny. And I don't want to discredit the fight scenes, because the fight scenes were actually pretty good in this movie. I really liked them. I thought the effects were really good, and the cinematography was very on point. So entertainment wise, hell yeah, I'd give it straight 5.
For me, if I was voting, I would look probably between a 3 and a 4. Just because it is entertaining. There's not one bit I look back and go, oh, this is boring. Or I look at my watch or anything when I'm watching this film. It's a film that you just kind of, even though it's not to the quality you want it to be from a Spider-Man 2 point, because like going from Spider-Man 2 into 3, it was like, this could be the greatest movie ever. And it doesn't hit that. A lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you never got that, but it doesn't stop it from still being an entertaining film. Watch it with new eyes without the baggage of what it could have been to what it actually is, and you still have a good time. So yeah, I agree with those. For how intentional is the quality? Keelin, what have you given it?
I didn't even really know for this one. I give it a 3. I don't know what they were thinking when making this movie, so I don't really know what to say about it.
It's one of those ones that it did what it was supposed to do, but didn't do it in a great way, didn't do it in a bad way. So
Perfect.
I'd say
Yeah, bang
3.
in the middle. That's why. Thank you.
I would agree with that as well. Like, I don't think it was, like, for example, Raimi's intention to make it a bad movie, but I think there was too many ideas in the movie that just it didn't work as a whole. So much of it could have been cut out.
I know, it was like 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Or just like in terms of like, I felt like Venom was probably too much, and they like too many villains, and yeah, it just got very, very messy.
Felt like they rushed Venom quite a lot.
But not Raimi's fault, which is why I'd say that the quality wasn't intentional at all.
I would say a 3 as well. I think right in the middle, because the intention was it to be a better film than Spider-Man 2, which was it never got that far. Yeah. But it's not a bad, it's not deliberately, or it's not bad as well. Yeah. So I think 3 in the middle is fine, is probably what I would go with. Just because, yeah, it's still a good film. It's just not a great film. Promises and intentions, I guess. 3, how much does it affect the franchise? This is a tough one, because this is the reverse stat that everyone else gets confused with. Tenson, what have you given?
So I've given it a 2. Like, I guess in terms of if we're thinking of it in terms of the quality of all 3, I would say it's probably not great, because obviously it's a dip down in quality to the first one, but I don't think it really affects it too much, because it's still a fun movie. But yeah, I'd say there are differences between how it affects the quality of the trilogy over, it's a fun movie, you know.
Just remind you, if it's a 1 is a lot, so if it's 2, it affects it a fair bit.
I've probably messed that up a bit. Always. Damn it. I'll probably go a 3 then.
It's a confusing one that I'm thinking about changing. Keelin, what have you given it?
I originally had a 1, but then I thought about it a bit more. I've gone 2.5. As you said, there was like a 14, 15 year break between this movie and then the next Spider-Man movie. So that alone, you can tell, is already quite affected from what's going on there. But I changed from a 1 just due to all the animated series that was coming out in between that. So while the franchise did take a hit from Spider-Man, it didn't take necessarily as big as one as it should have from that movie, because there was still a bunch of Spider-Man games, a bunch of animated TV shows, a bunch of comics still coming out from it. So yeah, I'll leave it at 2.5.
Okay. For me, I would be wildly different to you guys. I would give this a 4 out of 5, because Spider-Man 4 was going to happen. This movie was the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time at the time. Sam Raimi was really rearing to go. Tobey Maguire had been re-signed. The only reason they didn't do another movie is because Sam Raimi decided he didn't want to have the studio interference again. He got sick of that. There was going to be 5 until Sam Raimi said no. So that's why I would give it a 4 out of 5, just because there was going to be a 4th Spider-Man, and this was the highest grossing one. Yeah, the critical response wasn't great, and like they say, it might hurt a little bit, but Raimi was all ready to go. So this movie did not affect the franchise. It was Sony's decisions that led Sam Raimi to say no.
I've changed that to a 3, by the way.
Change it to a 3?
That was good. That was a good point, sir.
I just say that because I want to see Spider-Man 4 so bad.
I know, especially Raimi.
Oh, could you imagine?
Raimi comebacks.
Especially after he's worked on Madness in the Multiverse. Like, he's got such the modern feel for it now.
He's back to doing the superheroes.
I think actually in Multiverse of Madness, he is way more creative in the shots than he has ever been in Spider-Man
Just
movies.
the amount of tech and the advancements we've made now, he has so much more to play with. It's like probably like a fat kid on Christmas or something. He must be so happy to be
That
back.
shot when he wakes up from the dream and the room's spinning. I love that shot.
So clean.
So good. Right, so for quality of casting, Keelin, what have you given it?
I was gonna give 4, but then I forgot Gwen was in this movie, and then Eddie Brock as well. So I've put it down to a 3.5. All the OGs, killing it. Sure, love it. Eddie, I feel like they could have done Eddie a bit more. Eddie was a bit scrawny for my liking. Eddie's supposed to be this big dude who's done jail time. He's supposed to be rough, and then he gets real angry at Peter, and like way before he even gets the Venom symbiote, he's trying to kill Peter. I don't know. I guess I would have just liked to seen a bit more aggressiveness from Eddie's character, personally, because that's who he is. He's Eddie Brock. He's supposed to be aggressive and always charging head first.
We're not wrong. Eddie Brock is supposed to be a big football kind of guy.
Yeah, and then Gwen, up in the air. She wasn't in for too much. Flint Marco, yeah, he was alright. I didn't mind him too much. He was alright.
Yeah, well, I gave the same as you as well. I think 3.5, basically the same reasons. Like, I think, the main cast do a great job. But yeah, I think the actor playing Eddie is quite miscast.
Not to say that his Eddie he played his part. He stuck to that character, which give him props for.
Well acted, but yeah, just
That's not my Eddie Brock.
not the Eddie from the comic books anyway. But yeah, no, 3.5 for me.
If I was to vote, I would give it a 4 out of 5. I liked, even though Eddie Brock's supposed to be a football star and everything in the comics, I like the fact that Topher Grace is a mirror image of what Peter could be. Like, he's pretty much Peter, but if Peter made selfish decisions. And that's why when it latches on to him at the end, it's pretty much Peter versus Peter. It's Black Suit Peter versus Spider-Man. It's morals versus... That's what it is. It's supposed to be him versus him. That's why I think they picked Topher Grace as well. They didn't go for a big football star because they wanted someone who was the same physique as what Tobey Maguire was. I think Flint Marco was highly underutilized in this. I think Thomas Hayden Church was amazing. Those scenes where we're talking about his daughter and stuff, even the end scene where he's talking about the way it actually happened to Uncle Ben, they make tear up every time. He does it so beautifully, Thomas Hayden Church. I think he was cast on this off a movie of Sideways that won an Oscar about a year or two before it. But I watched this, I'm like, I wanted more Sandman. Didn't get enough, and that was the reason, because there's too many villains.
It was kind of like a Darth Maul situation where he's like, just there.
Yeah.
There to be there. But just so much potential and just so little
That
utilized.
is a good point, though. Like, having the other villains in there did cut that time. But I imagine also, like, the effects and the amount of money they would need. Like, if they had Sandman as the main villain for that movie, they would need a bigger budget than what they got, I'd imagine. Especially, and more time. Because, what was it, 2-3 years they took that?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 years, yeah.
Ugh.
And Bryce Dallas Howard, I just don't think she was a great character. I don't think she did anything wrong.
She was kind of pointless. There was
just kinda
there was
there.
nothing to her character at all.
Yeah, Captain Stacy wasn't really used. Again, great actor, but wasn't really used. So the cast was good. It just wasn't utilized to their potential, or the movie itself didn't really work for them.
I reckon this movie should have really honed in on like the conflict between Harry and Peter. Like it feels very underdeveloped.
It was wasted.
Yeah.
It was wasted potential.
And that would have been a great movie if it really focused on Harry and Peter more.
So for number 5, would you watch it again? What have you got at Keelin?
5.
5, yep.
Absolutely. Like, say what you will about the movie, this is still... I give it entertaining 5 out of 5 as well, so...
I've gone a 4. It's not a movie that I come back to often, but it's one that when I do come back to, I'm entertained. I wouldn't watch it as often as, like, Spider-Man 2 or the first film, but yeah, it's fun if you want to round off the trilogy and just,
God, man, when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I'd rather watch Spider-Man 2, but then I really thought about it, I was like, no, I would rather watch this movie, just purely because of the crack energy it comes from. Oh, bro.
It depends what sort of mood you're in, but like,
I guess so.
if you're in the right mood, then yeah, this one for me.
For me, I would give it a 4. rather than a 5, just because there are other things I'd watched before this. Like, if you gave me a choice between any of the trilogy, I would pick Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2 first. But otherwise, it's a movie that I could rewatch again. If someone's like, do you want to watch Spider-Man 3? I'd be like, heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's not one that
laugh
you'd
at
go
this.
actively out to watch.
No, and if I'm doing the trilogy as well, I'm happy to watch it at the end. I'm not just going to go, I've got to watch this one now as well.
Can't wait to finish work and watch Spider-Man 3.
I think for me, it's most fun, like, watched with a group of people, because you can just poke
Yeah.
fun at it.
That's the same with horror movies, you know?
Yeah,
It's a lot less scary when you have people there.
Definitely.
Or it's one of those movies you can do a podcast about and reenact it.
Yeah.
The
You know,
best
we
part.
should pay someone to do that. That's a great idea.
Right, so let's go through what we've got then so far for you guys. So for how entertaining was the film, Tenson, you put 4, and Keelin, you put 5. For how intentional is the quality, you both pick 3. How much does it affect the franchise? Again, you both pick 3. For quality of casting, you both pick 3.5.
Oh my god, Tenson.
You're locked in. No, that's why I went back and forth and I copied to the other one, see? Would you watch it again? Tenson gave it 4 and Keelin gave it 5. So both of yous alone have beaten Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is the worst of the worst so far.
Oh, wow.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation...
Hell yeah.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation is on 15.5 stars. The best of the worst so far is Men in Black International with 33.5 stars. Tenson, you gave it 17.5 out of a possible 25 stars. Keelin, you gave it 19.5 out of a possible 25 stars. This gives it 37 out of 50 stars. This is now by far the best of the worst, because Men in Black International was 33.5, and that was in 8th place. This is now number 9th with 37 stars. This is where you want to be. This is 3 stars off.
Sorry, I've just understood the rankings there.
The lower your score, the higher you're on the ranking, because you're the worst of the worst. This is 3 stars off going on the MRU list.
Really?
Anything that is between 40 and 50 goes on the MRU list because it doesn't belong on a worst of the worst list.
Oh, that was close.
Maybe this movie's not as bad as people think it is.
Yeah, 31 to 39 is what we're at, is an underappreciated gem, which I think it is.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Definitely. I think we rated it well.
Tonight, 37 stars. But if you haven't seen it in a number of years because you're put off by the fact that it's not as good as Spider-Man 2, that's why I do worst of the worst as well. Because something is not as good as the best doesn't mean it's the worst. And I think sometimes people get that kind of feeling with franchises. Oh, it's 3rd on a ranking of 3. It must mean it's bad. No. If all the other movies are superb, then a movie can be okay and still be good. If you like what you hear or have any suggestions or thoughts for us, who knows, it might be about Spider-Man 3. Well, you can contact us by going to the Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com or by going to our website nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast outlets. Nobody Does It Bennett is also available on YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe. With Worst of the Worst, there is a bit at the end that I like to do where we discuss any ways we think we can improve the film. So I've got this on the end here. I'm not sure if I haven't really told you guys too much about this because we're Worst of the Worst. Yeah, if there's anything you guys can think of that could help improve the film. I've got some lists here. We can actually go through it if you want, because this is probably all the things you'd probably go with. So my list here, I've got fewer villains, or at least save some for the next film.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't hate Topher Grace's Eddie Brock. It was his Venom portrayal that I wasn't a fan of. Mainly because of how rushed it was. If they'd done the setup with Peter ripping off the suit and had Eddie Brock transform, then left Venom as the one and only bad guy for the 4th film, I believe it could have worked a lot better. Could have even had a plot in the 4th film where Venom was creating all these crimes and people suspected it was Spider-Man doing them all. My next point is a smarter Peter. Peter makes some dumb decisions in this film, which are done so that the rift between himself and MJ can occur. Could have been done, though, in a smarter way.
Given the build-up with the first 2 movies, it seems really weird that they're suddenly like...
Yeah. Next one is less studio interference. Let Raimi tell the story he wanted. Don't force-feed characters and villains he didn't want to use. Spider-Man has probably the best rogues gallery in Marvel, and only second to Batman in comics. So they could have let Raimi use the ones he wanted and saved Venom for someone else later on. And my last spot here is a better finishing arc for Harry.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Harry was set up well in Spider-Man 2. I was going into 3 with high expectations that were not met. The soap opera amnesia plot was silly, and his turn at the end seemed rushed and unrewarding. They dropped the ball with Harry. You dropped the ball.
They did. I
Big
think that was the thing I was most angry about the movie, was how they did Harry. So dirty.
So much setup was put into it, and a lot of it just... I don't think it's because he wanted didn't want to finish it off well, obviously, or didn't have any ideas. It's just because they ran out of time, or they had too many villains.
It's very much an Alien 3 kind of situation. A bit.
At the start, like, okay, let's have this fight with Harry and have him have amnesia, because, like, okay, we've got to juggle 2 other villains as well now, so we're going to introduce them while Harry has amnesia. And then when he's right to come back, we'll just have him remember all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, lazy
It's
writing.
like, real lazy.
Tenzin, any final thoughts about Spider-Man 3?
It's a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, would definitely recommend it. It's just
Great costume.
It's just an all-round fun, entertaining movie. Don't go on expecting great things, because you definitely won't get that. But yeah, just go on to be entertained and you'll be fine.
Keelin, anything else to add?
Just that I had a lot of fun doing this movie. Again, I did say that I'd probably watch this a lot of times, probably over some of the other Spider-Mans, but just purely because how much I laughed at this movie when I was a kid. Does hold a very special place in my memory. Worst of the worst, for sure.
Or worst of this series. I don't think worst of the worst. It's still Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about
This is
that.
best of the worst.
Best of the worst, exactly. Great movie, also very bad movie. Go watch it, choose, and then come watch this podcast and see if you agree with us.
I like it, like, great movie, but also bad movie. Spider-Man 3 is certainly the worst in the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, as it does make a fair few mistakes, but there is also a fair bit of good that gets overshadowed. I feel at times the Flint Marko Sandman storyline is quite beautifully done, only to be let down by a rushed finish. The black and grey Spider-Man suit is still my second favourite all-time Spider-Man suit, only behind the Raimi red and blue suit. And although they made Peter goofy and silly as Peter when he is influenced by the symbiote, there are certain times where you really feel the pain and struggle that Peter is going through, mainly due to Tobey Maguire's performance. And that Peter and Harry's fight at the start, I think, is still great. Still a really good scene. All in all, I enjoy Spider-Man 3, even with all its faults. This movie is something that is very watchable.
Absolutely.
Keelin, Tenson, thank you for joining me tonight.
No worries.
Thank you for joining me for this trilogy.
It's been a heck of a ride.
Yeah, 3 movies. Fantastic.
Shout out to Peter.
These ones kind of run a blur because they're back to back, rather than the first one was a few months ago.
Yeah, crazy, yeah. Oh my god, was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a March, I think. We did.
No
Yeah.
It's not. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, because we did Harry Potter in June. Yeah.
Holy crap.
This year is very quick.
It is. And thank you for listening. Remember, some others may do it better, but nobody does it better. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Impressive.
Impressive! Oh, that was great.
It's the end of the show, and now it's time to go. Don't be sad, just be glad. Then nobody does it better.